So that a lot of things I'm saying, I want you to think about it practically in the context of what it is that we do. Well, let's take a step back. We were talking about digital technology, digital impact. Well, let's take a step back from all of that. When you hear non-profit, you usually hear things like what comes in terms of association is you're helping the poor, helping the less privileged, right? As some of us are already doing it. But then another thing that comes to your mind is they're always asking for money. How many people are always asking for money here? Donate. How many of us are currently fundraising? You are always fundraising as a non-profit. So it always feels like you are always asking for money. But you're doing good for society or good for people. Now, what technology has come to do for us is to think about how to be more efficient in what we do as non-profits. The thing is, so if you use Nigeria, and to be honest, Africa and the world in general, there's an economic crunch. People are now very like, even now to go out and like, what is this outing for? Where is it? Come to Aja? Is somebody dying in Aja? Because you're like, you're concerned and all of that. To tell people to do things or to pay your calls requires you to know, especially in a time like this. It's not because the work that you're doing is not important. It's because there are other needs and priorities. So for people to do the massive hierarchy or something. But you can now begin to leverage technology to say, this is what we can do and how we position ourselves. Now, if you want to remain sustainable and relevant, you cannot just rely on innovation anymore. I hope we know that. So one of the things I always advise non-profits to do is think about how to make it self-sustaining. And that's really where you can leverage some of the digital tools and strategies that I was telling you about. Now, I want to read statistics from the non-profit trend report, and it says that 74% of non-profits say that digital transformation is a need to have or must have, but only 12% are actually using it. And I find that very, very true. So I work as a communication advisor, and when I'm talking to non-profit owners, foundation owners, we don't have money for communications. We don't have money to document. But do you know what happens? When you don't accurately document your work, when you're not getting data, the young man there says he gives food or they give food to the non-privileged and underrepresented. You have data of all these people that you serve. Do you collect the data? You started. Okay. Because one of the greatest assets you have as a non-profit organization is the data that you have. How many of us do that? But some of us, we are just collecting the data and we are putting it aside. Then when it's time to reach out to volunteers, when it's time to do fundraising, you send what I call a go-go in communication. And what does that mean? You send the same thing out to everybody. And that's not possible. I'm here, Manuela is here, our beautiful host is here. The things that we get our attention are very, very different of the things that will get my attention. Although we may both be like, oh, we want to empower women, we love to empower women, but we may be doing it for two totally different reasons. If you communicate a reason to me that both of us is my vision, my goal, keep don't know what is potential volunteer. What that means is that you have to keep your data to say, where are our supporters? Where are we moving from? Because also use your data to track. Because a few years ago, we had what we call the Oxfam Trial, and which is a narrative I totally dislike when it comes to Africa, especially the Africa shuffle that is dying, that is, we know that Oxfam Trial image. But the truth is that you need to begin to think about, you've done this work for 2 years, 6 years, what is the story of transformation? You're helping young girls. So you started with a young girl, probably she was 12, and then she's 15. What is that story? How many of us follow us for Rwanda or something? Aren't you inspired by some of those stories? In community, does not ask you to give money. Because there's all this story that you can see, the girl that started from this place, she's now in Corona. This person is graduating, so like I can see what they're doing. Because you don't have to tell me what they're doing, what they're showing, because it shows the impact on the life of the people. That's what you think about technology. technology? How are we collecting data? And obviously, using best practices, but how are we collecting this data? How are we tracking our beneficiaries? How are we documenting the impact of the work that we're doing? So when you're going to an organization, you're not going to them to say, give us money. You're going to them to say, look, with the resources that we've had, we've been able to impact X number of people, achieve X number of impact. If you come on board as a supporter and as a partner, we'll be able to do X more amount of things than we have already done. How many of us have that's a different narrative? That is a different narrative, and that's how I want you to be thinking. So there are many tools that you can get with, but if you're not thinking about it strategically, if you're not thinking about it in terms of how do we reposition ourselves, how do we tell the story of what we're doing differently, then you're not going to be able to leverage technologies. I was in a judge of a competition. Not for a competition, we were giving out grants, and people had to apply. And I saw all of these stories. Why did you set up your non-profit? Oh, something happened, the father died, and then the mother died. It was a very emotional story. But you know what happened? I think I read over 100 entries, and I think 60% of those entries were like that same story. So who would I give money to if everybody says the same thing? I'm not saying that if some of you you're into it because you are personally affected or you saw someone that was personally affected by you. That's a very constructive story. But you cannot focus on that issue, right? You focus on what I observe in you and what I think that you're doing. You change the situation, you change the narrative. And that's how you want to communicate. So I think that even though the non-profit be the one always asking for money, we are partnering with you to make this change and a difference in our world. Communication really matters. And we are all alive and following. Alright, so let's now get practical. Now, this same non-profit church report, they ask 4 challenges that non-profits have. The first is awareness. How many of us have that challenge? Awareness and visibility. Yes, I'm seeing from Angel. The second is retaining staff and volunteer management. I see you shaking your head there. The third they wrote there is hosting interactive events, and this is after post-COVID where everything was virtual. And before everyone the other thing that happened to is raising funds and controlling what's expensive. And those are real things. So let's talk about how digital technologies can help. Let's start with awareness. You see, the thing about digital technologies communication, it feels like a chicken and egg situation. So you say we don't have enough money to communicate, we don't have enough money to post on social media, we don't have enough money. But the truth is that if you don't do these things, you're still not going to be able to access more money. So you come to somebody and say, when Uganda, you help children in Uganda, you say, fantastic. What is the name of your non-profit? You tell me this. What is the next thing I will do? I will go on Facebook. And I will what? Google the non-profit. Let's do parental. They have a website. I go to the website. It's errors. It's not working. I say, okay, let me give them the benefits of the doubt. I say, let me go on social media. I don't find them. If it was you, what will you really do? Scam. Thank you. You need to think that maybe these people are not saying we're Nigerians. They are a kind person. Jesus approached to us. I like this man at this stage. Maybe I'll check them individually. Go on their LinkedIn. You don't see anything about it. You go on their individual personal pages. You don't see anything. Are you going to support and go to them? Exactly. So it's not a situation of we don't have money and we cannot leverage this. It's about how can we use what we have to still be able to function on these digital platforms. And it is so easy. When I started my career, I didn't have a lot of money, but I had a free WordPress blog, and I got every single day. I started something called Sparkle Writers to help people to write. I didn't have money, but I used my Facebook. Every single day, I would post on Facebook to the point that in my church, if you said you needed somebody to write, and you know, writing, this is doing why? Because I use my digital platforms. How are you using your digital platform? Before we start talking about AI, FI, SI, your Facebook page, how many of us have a very active Facebook page here? Instagram. They've got more hands. How many of us have a functional, up-to-date website? Fewer hands. If we're not using these tools, how do we you then want to use the other tools. Do you see where I'm coming from? You need to start with your website. Every one of you here, you need to have a website because your website is your number one. I call it your number one storehouse. Because how many of us have experienced when Instagram went down? Mark tomorrow and wake up and say, yo, my life vision has changed. I no longer want to do Meta. I no longer want to do WhatsApp. I no longer want to do Instagram. What happens to your content? It's going to go. But your website is what? Your website. So that's why I advocate the first thing you need to have is a website with up-to-date information and content. Pictures of what you're doing. Now, some of you are doing really sensitive work that you're not able to put pictures of the people. But you can also show your volunteers. You can tell a story without using the pictures of the beneficiaries. And this is not a masterclass. I will be able to tell you all of that, but that's how you can be thinking about it. The second thing, and should I say, very, very important for you is building a community around your cause. It's so important. Community building today is really, really essential. And this community building goes beyond your volunteers, goes beyond donors. It's how do I raise an army of people that anywhere, anytime, when they see my cause, we're doing a walk, we're doing an outreach, they rise up and they come. And you can use people WhatsApp, create a community, find the people that are interested. People are interested for many different reasons. Nurture that. And the good thing about community, because I run a community of over 1,200 professionals. And one thing I find is that because of the conversations that we have, we're able to get insights. What can we do better? If you're struggling with volunteers, you know, find that, okay, maybe somebody has 1 week to volunteer. Find out what it is that they're interested in. Maybe they have a skill with X, Y, Z. Call on them to do it. So what we see that comes avenue is we have volunteers for specialized tasks. So for example, we're running a program. We call for the volunteers. We say, okay, we're looking for someone to give us 1 article per week for 2 months, 1 article per week for 1 month. Please break down your activities that because sometimes people may not have all the time in the world. But that's what it's for money. That's why you have to pay this. I know that. So you have to make it easy for them to come on board. I'm doing a food outreach. I'm going to give different options. Can you come on the day and give 2 hours of your time? Can you join the team that goes to the market and source the items? So that you're not looking for one person that is going to the market that is feeding the people who don't exhaust person. They're going to run away. So think about how to streamline the work that you're doing. And then you need to be innovative about creating products, digital products. And here's what I mean. A lot of you again, because of the data and the insights that you have, can you create a very nice short ebook about the girl child? What are her needs? So for example, the person that's running the food bank food outreach, I can decide, you know what, I'm going to partner with a popular, maybe Instagram chef. I don't know how many of us know Ife's Kitchen, for example. I can partner with her and say, please, we're doing this outreach. Can you partner with us to create a short recipe book of easy-to-eat meals that people can do? And then you will put it and say, for every book that you download, for every book that you get, or some people to get it at any cost, that money is going into a donation. Do you know that that's a fundraising strategy? I don't know how many followers she has, but she has what? Thousands of followers. You leverage that and you say, people invite her to even come from your outreach and say, all the money raised is going to the XYZ community. So you must be able to think outside the box in terms of collaborations and partnerships. It must not always be writing letter, you knocking on the doors. No. There are people currently who are interested in your cause. Maybe they don't have time, but they can post something on their Instagram. They can collaborate with you. You can even do a session with them, a podcast or something that's related to the work that you have. That gives you what awareness, that gives you access to what their community. That also gives you credibility because you rely on their own. This is the advice I give you. I hope you are noting it because I'm not repeating it. Next thing, I talked about content management and functional websites. I find that it's not just about having a website because if you look at Google SEO, Google brings up websites that are relevant to certain subject matters. So if I'm doing, let's say those of us that are doing women empowerment, some women empowerment, to be honest, is very broad. Some people are focused on career women, some people are focused on whatever it is. I will start creating content for women in that space. What does I've done a lot of consulting with women-focused organizations. What do women in this community need? What are their thoughts? How can I begin to write blog posts and articles that helps people? Because that's what drives people to your website. It's not just about, oh, we're doing this job, people don't want to feel sad. If I go to your website and I'm just sad and I'm depressed, say this is what there are people that have this disease. Maybe they're not coming out to say, what should they do when they notice the signs? What are the things that they can do to relieve? Those of us that do Parkinson's, it's like uncontrollable movement in your body. What can they do to maybe reduce it, or simple tips? You'll find that more people will begin to come on the website, and why they will not come out as open donors, you'll start supporting, you'll start getting what they call goodwill to your cause. Are we following? And then the final thing is analytics. You can leverage analytics to know where are donors, where are the people that we're serving. So some of you, how many of you, the back end of your Instagram, Facebook, have you got to look at the analytics there? Who has done that recently? I see a few hands. You have to do that because it will show you, is it women or men? You may realize that people that are viewing your content are from Ghana. How many of us do that? You will be shocked. Please do it today. Go to the back end of your Facebook. Go to the back end of your Instagram. Look at your posts. In fact, look at the content that people like the most and view the most. You will be very surprised. Because the truth is that you can't be creating content, putting it, and you're not getting data. Why? And then you're people saying, people like videos, but you insist that you must put pictures. Meanwhile, your video content is more engaging, right? Or maybe when you go on your outreaches, you get more views and all of that, but you insist on putting the content of this is us and here. You're always shooting yourself in the foot. So don't do any work without analytics. And it's the same thing with your donors. Some of you, I guess the majority of you send out newsletters. But I find that sometimes when you're not very strategic about our newsletters, if you go to the back end of your newsletter, I can bet you every day people are subscribing. I can, like, for free, I can tell you why. You're not telling us things that they are interested in. And that's because you have to segment. So what I do is free advice to you. And so like, for those of us that send newsletters, some of us will use Mailchimp, Substack, or whatever newsletter platform. Go to the back end and look at what are your open rates? Who are the people who pay it? If you see that, okay, it's 25%, for those 25%, just do an email to those 25% say, thank you for engaging with us. How can we serve you better? Or what can we do to improve? Or even find out what it is that you like about your company. You discover that the data you get with that, you can use it for so much. But a lot of us were not communicating with our audience. We're just asking for things. And digital technology can make what? Two-way communication. So that's all awareness. The second is stakeholder management. You must move from throwing out and sharing information to listening. And that comes from understanding what they need or want. Depending on what stage you are or what organization that you have, customer relationship management, they're called CRM tools, are very, very important for you to have. Like I said, I have a document that has some of these tools which you can go and look at. But what they do is that they help you to segment your audience, segment the people that are engaging, women in. So I do a lot of consulting and I say, okay, who do you want to reach? You want to reach women. I'm like, that's not helpful because women are very, very different. My first speakers now, we have different needs and interests. You cannot put us in the same bucket. So are you looking at women in a particular demographic? Women in Lagos, women in whatever, women that have so characteristics. You must segment your audience. And it's the same thing with your donors. You must be able to segment who is this donor, what are they interested in, and give them that information. And can I say, the era of us moving to the end of the year to give annual reports is not effective anymore. We must give constant updates. So now, people are very, very conscious about their money. So it's like, okay, well, even if it's 5K, like, I remember what it was I saw one day, and someone was like, how much do you contribute that they're asking for so much? But it's money. It's their what? Money. So you must be able to tell them what you are doing with their money. How many of us have even thanked our sponsors recently or our donors? If you haven't done it, please do it. Thank you for your support. I can see a hand there. You must thank them. They're giving you something. Even if you say it's not enough, at least thank them for what they are giving you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for engaging with us. And in that thanking you, it's not that you're not saying to continue. It's just what? Thank you. appreciate them. Because, see, we are human beings. I ask you to don't forget, even if you are engaging in an organization that is giving thousands of dollars, people are human beings. They like people that celebrate them, forgetting they may be bonding, they may be doing everything, but people recognize and that gratitude has so much power. But non-profits, we're not taking advantage of that. We're just asking and asking, but we're not thanking. Thank your volunteers, even if you want. Say thank you for your time, right? Are we all here? And then the last thing is, really just you can leverage AI. Like I said, I'm not going to go into the AI. But AI, I want you to think about it in terms of efficiency. You know, I was in an engagement one time and someone said, I think AI is going to be continuity. I said, it's almost like saying blender is going to stop making you to cook. It's only going to what? Assist you. So I need you to look at the work that you do and all the tools that you're going to see in that document. How can we become more efficient in what we are doing? Some of you are spending so much time doing certain things that are not strategic to the work that you're doing. How can AI, so I'm not saying it's not ChatGPT, write a blog post and copy and paste, put it on the website. No. But ChatGPT can give you the raw material and then you can build on it. And that is also something that you have in volunteers. So you need to think about how can we be efficient using digital technology. And the final thing that I will touch on is raising funds. Now, I want you to think differently about how you raise money. Like I said before, because self-sustaining, think about what can we generate with what we have that can bring us income. You will find that there are certain non-profits that they have what they call the merch sites, where they are creating different kinds of merchandise, typically t-shirts and all of that. That's also a sustainable way. When you can look at what creative things can we do, toys, materials that people will need, and then the money from that goes into your funding. So it's not about external people giving you money, it's about what can we create, what digital products can we make, what podcasts can we do. You can even use YouTube. I don't know how many of us are on YouTube. You can use YouTube if you need to tell stories. It's thinking about it very, very differently to say, how are we able to get money? And one thing I advise non-profits now is to be in position for where you're able to access international grants. Because if you're focused on organizations locally, they are also what? Cash strapped. I mean that they're not saying those people, CSR budgets are what? Shrinking. So how do you position yourself for international grants? I know NGOs, non-profits that are still getting as much as $25,000. But the thing about these international grants is they want to see a track record. They want to see impact. They want you to know what you've done now, which is why everything I'm telling you, you must be able to do it. How are you positioning yourself? Are you visible? What are the stories of impact? The beneficiaries, are you tracking their success? How are you communicating with what it is that you are doing? And then finally, please leverage digital donor management platforms. So there are many platforms. There is now blockchain fundraising platforms that you can raise money on the go. There's crowdfunding. There's so many things. Like I said, I don't want to go into the tools because for me, if the mindset is not there, they don't look at those tools and they're not going to achieve what they want to achieve. And the final thing I will then touch on now is how we should begin to approach the next steps. I like practical things. I like things being simplified. So let's start by looking inward. How can we become more efficient in the work that we do? What is your day-to-day operation? This was a consulting session. I will have you run me through how you do your day-to-day operation and what tools can be used to simplify. Some of you are doing work with volunteers from different locations and you're using email to send documents. Like Google, collaborate. Because you might think that this thing is not a big deal, but it's time. And what they say, time is money. You know, I charge for my services per hour, so I can't imagine someone missing an hour of my time. I don't want to damage this 1 hour. So you need to think about how are we doing what we're doing? Is this very efficient? What can we do to collaborate on? How are we documenting? Some of us do not have documented processes. So that when one volunteer leaves, it's like, hey, this volunteer has left with their body of knowledge, their know-how. That's horrible. Please make sure you're documenting so that if you need to go on a vacation, how many can you go on a vacation now? Let's say finance. That's because you have to document it, right? How do you scale something? What scaling? So let's look at KFC for example. KFC can operate a franchise here in Lagos because there's a documentation of how things are done. What I like watching documentaries is what there's a documentation of the temperature with which the chicken should be fried. I hope you know that. There's this movie, I can't remember the name, but it's about the founders of McDonald's. And you will see how they documented step by step. Have you documented your process step by step? Where is that? Is this in a Google folder? Is it in a Google form? These things are very important. And then think about your workflow. Think about how you're facilitating collaboration. I was in a conference in South Africa, and someone was saying something about, they're non-profits and we're not taking. I'm like, wow, I know somebody doing exactly the same thing in Nigeria. What do these people together? How much impact do they have? There's some of you, by the time you network, you realize that you're doing exactly what the same thing. You know that if you come together, you will have more appeal than you try to work inside. Because the truth is that the thing that we're trying to do is a lot. The people we're trying to reach, they're what? Many. How can you collaborate? Collaborate with one another, collaborate with people externally. How can you collaborate? In fact, some of the people that you're going to need for money, how can you collaborate and use them as advocates for the work that you're doing? I have two more people, so I'll just wrap up with looking outwards. I said, building a community. So everyone that comes as a volunteer, keep their names and keep their track record. Put them in a community, keep them engaged, and then use the data. I'll keep saying this. Use your data to scale the impact of the work that you're doing. Use your data to analyze effectiveness. What are we doing? What can we do better? And finally, please prioritize donor communications. It's not about give us money, it's about here's what we're doing with your support. It's about thinking of them as partners in the vision that you all have. And if I can just give you some general tips, hire specialists. Don't say, oh, we don't have money, can't afford that. There are people that will give you their time if they want to give back. But you just
what we did just now is, okay, this regularly show gratitude. Can we just prioritize communication first?
To say, let me sit down and hear you out. So think about the things that you're asking for. It's not just about something alone. And then listen to improve. You can send out surveys. You can send out feedback. Find out from your volunteers. What was it like going on that engagement? What do you think about what we're doing? How can we do better? Ask your donors the same thing as well. And then choose the right technology that is accessible, affordable for you, and that you can use and scale what it is that you're doing. And finally, like I said, think collaboratively. Leverage skill sets. Leverage people's know-how and knowledge. And most importantly, leverage partnerships to be able to scale what it is that you're doing. I hope that this very short presentation, I can wait 2-hour class on this, but I hope that the thing that I really want you to take out is you thinking strategically how you can leverage digital technology, how you can become more efficient, and how you can tell a positive story about what you're doing. I believe every single one of you are doing fantastic work. But the truth is that if you're not telling the story of the impact that you are having, if you're not telling people why what you're doing is important, you're going to miss out on connecting with the right people, impacting people more. So think about it, if you're impacting 100 people, you have the potential to impact hundreds of thousands. So I hope that this does not become a mindset shift. And when you get the documents after this, play around with some of those tools. That's what I do. I'm very curious. I just want some of those tools. I say, let me try this. Let me, use this. Use Canva for my design. I use Canva for my design. How can we solve it better? And I hope that with that and everything that we then we can become more impactful. And we come here in the guest and truly pass skill the work that we're doing. Thank you very much. I'm allowed to take questions. Any questions, clarifications, I need to understand this. We can see it.
Thank you, Joy, truly in communications person. So I have a brief. I keep having these two thoughts about. So when you are building a personal brand, then you have a social media persons who are also interested in and there's always this conflict whether the website should be just the website social impact post, or should I still build a personal brand post? What do you think about that?
I love that question. It's a very important question. So, statistics Again, it's here to talk about people resonate more with human beings than with brand. So, how many of us follow to the meeting?
No.
It's the means of life. It's not for us. It's doing it for what? A reason. Right? There's you doing and there's you as you are where you are now, you need your personal brand. So I'll use myself as an example. I was a contact, but I'm a communications advisor. So I have my personal website. Contact has its personal website. Do you know that if we're doing a program, something that comes out when I post it on my page, it gets more traction to the contact? Because people follow me, they know me, oh, I don't know you do this, and then every single time I say it. Because I've built up a brand in communication. So they're like, if she's talking about communication, so I direct my audience to contact. So you can run it concurrently. Your personal brand is your brand. But the thing is that it gives visibility to the social impact board. And you talk about it differently. For example, if you want to do a post on the contact memories, let's say, for example, so we have a mentoring program that we do for professionals across F1. When we're telling the story of impact, the way we will tell it is different from how I will tell it from my personal perspective. So I can say we just finished the 6th batch of our mentoring program, and I can spotlight on that. I say the impact, you state my vision and say, why we're doing this is because of somebody like Charity. Charity came into this program and she had no idea. She has finished this program and now she has clarity. She has expertise, and I'm so proud of what Charity is doing. And I'm looking forward to the time when we can have 10,000 more Charities. So you can see that the content is going to so don't ignore your personal brand. And the truth is beyond before. One day you might be like the social platform on their islands. But you have built your own personal credibility. And whatever new thing that you do, you will pay for that new thing. I hope that helps. One more question.
Think about things you can create.
For creative strategies for us. Okay, so my question is, you talked about creativity, and one thing I've discovered as a one thing I've discovered volunteers drive at least 50% awareness of inflation, at least. And one thing I also discovered, most organizations lack effective management of their volunteers. So I want to find out from you that have been in this space for a while and you have quite robust experience in this regard. What are the 3 most effective skills or most effective strategies to use in managing volunteers so that they become not just only volunteers now, but fan of your organization?
Thank you very much. So let's step out of this scenario and then let me pitch you this story. So let's say you go to an organization, you start working there, you get there, the first day on your desk, you see welcome.
Prioritize building a community.
Solomon, welcome Solomon. You see different gadgets. What will be your first impression? Wow, this is nice. And after that, you see, for example, maybe they do like a town hall, they celebrate you, feel very welcome. And then periodically, maybe, for example, the CEO of Solomon is privileged to have you here in this organization. Then you notice that maybe you were new, you took sick leave, and then you get a care basket from that organization. Maybe you get a call, how are you doing? Please, how are you going to say about your organization? I don't want to say, guys, my organization. How many of us do it? Because you're like, you care about me, you love me, you did it, CEO is calling. It's a simple human psychology. It's not necessarily anything about it. The problem is that we don't value our volunteers. How are we celebrating them? How are we thanking them personally? Right? I have one of our volunteers telling you every time we do a project or brief, yes, we have a communications advisor, but I go and I say, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you. I celebrate them. Sometimes we're not able to do them, but I can celebrate them. I can thank them for the work they do. It might not be perfect, but you start by appreciating them. You start by honoring them. So you go on our social media handles, you celebrate our volunteers. That's one of the biggest things that we say, celebrate them for the work that they do. Secondly, ask them what it is that they want to do. Anyone that comes to volunteer with us, I ask them, what do you want to learn? Because yes, you want to give back, but there's something you also want to get out. Let's be very honest. And I see how can we help people achieve some of the things that they want to achieve. Some people are coming to volunteer because we have a strong network. And you know, there's no bad thing about that. And we facilitate those opportunities. The last event that we had, someone came and said, I want to connect with this particular woman, but I'm volunteering. And I gave her tips to be able to connect with that woman, despite the fact that she was volunteering. And she did it, and now they're collaborating with a very big project. Do you think the next time she's not going to volunteer with us? She is. So think of them as human beings, celebrate them, find out what their needs are, why are they volunteering with you, and make them feel a part of it. By themselves, for themselves, they will advocate for you. They will say, these places will treat them well, cherish them, even if it's a thank you giving, you can't give you money, but we celebrate you. On their birthdays, they know, how many wish of volunteer happy birthday? And this is something. People see things like that. Something that I do on my Instagram stories. People, that follow me. If you're celebrating something, I will celebrate it with you. Oh yes, girl, go girl, congratulations. Why? Because I want to build your consciousness, right? I love celebrating people, by the way. I love giving people compliments. But it's supposed to stay in touch.
We are unveiling the directory.
Congratulations.
So can you open the directory page when I'm talking about the directory?
Honor what the volunteers. Celebrate them and think about what it is they're getting out of your organization and how can you support them when you want to. So, thank you very much. I think so if you want to contact me, for those of you that want to engage further, I have my website, I guess we will share with you. I'm on LinkedIn, Instagram. Caveat, my Instagram is for Ministry, I'm a child of God, so I'm always preaching Jesus on Instagram. But if I follow me on Instagram, I have YouTube where I also share content on communications. Those of you that want to learn more about communications, you can go on my YouTube page and then you can also send me to your team and
yes, that's true.
Check out. I'm still translating to while it is.
I just spoke, no tell me, say don't speak.
Thank you very much.
Please watch this thing. Have you shared her post?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Once again, put your hands together for me. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, ma'am. We learned so much. I don't even need to ask if we learned. And our minds were stretched and we learned how to better position ourselves. Thank you so much. Please put your hands together again for her. Thank you so much, ma'am. Right now, we still have so much more for you. We have our panelists and our other speakers are here. So we are ready for you. We are ready for you to learn and for you to get better at this event. That's why you're here. So we have much more in store for you. Just sit, relax, and get ready for a time of your life. Okay, so quickly, I want you to bring out your cell phones. We want to do something quickly. Please bring out your cell phones. On Instagram, I want you to follow Hexa Media. We are on Instagram as Hexa Media, Hexa, and on Facebook, we are on Facebook as Hexa Media Africa. Hexa Media Africa on Facebook. So please quickly just do that. Thank you so much. We are over 50 persons here. And so please just follow us on social media. We have so much there for you. We'll be sharing HEXA, Hexa Media. Hexa.media, HEXA.media. Please quickly do that. We have so much there for you. We share information and opportunities that will help you and your organization. So please quickly follow us there. And also the hashtag for this event is SIMS 2023. So when you're posting online, please do what? Use the hashtag SIMS.
Have you shared that conversations?
Thank you so much. So we're going to do something quickly right now. We're going to take a general selfie. Please can you stand up? So
It's on that promotional.
Okay, so I should show the flyer.
You can show the flyer and also
okay,
show
so places are going to be taller than
just the
the
directory.
way we're seated. Let's just do
Like
it.
this,
Let's
right?
do it.
You can just project this. So once I just start talking about it,
Are you the one going next?
I'll be on.
Are you doing it now?
Yes.
What? Are you the one going?
I'll be on.
Okay, thank you. Can you?
Huh?
1, 2, 3, go. Since 2023. Again. Since 2023. Put your hands together for the Lord, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. Okay, so we're going to share that on our social media so you can get that also. And also you can take pictures of yourself and post it on your social media pages. And when you do that, please use the hashtag since2023. Tag us and share your experience in this event. We're going further right now and we're going to have our next other program. And we want to unveil the exact directory. Right now, we'll be inviting Ella to do that. Please put your hands together.
Yeah, you for tell me say you want promote this.
Hi everyone. Are you sleeping? I'm taking off my shoes now, so I'm going to give you Agoro lifestyle. No more sleep. How are you feeling right now? Okay, so we have something very important to share with everyone today, and I'm so excited. If you have your data on, please go to directory.hexamedia.africa. Eli, that's what it is here. Yeah? Show us on the screen. So when I first started Hexamedia, those of you who know me, you know we started as Ella Communications, right? So I wanted something deeper. I was yearning for more. I wanted to help more people. But then I didn't know how to do it, and I started thinking, I started connecting, I started reaching out to my mentors, and the vision started to expand. And what was this vision? The vision was expanding into helping African nonprofits and social enterprises to leverage tech, digital media, and communications. So what we used to do before at Ella Communications was just communications and a little bit of digital media. But going forward, January 2023, January 16 this year, we unveiled as Hexamedia, which means we're going to be going bigger, tech, communications, and digital media. And one of the tech things that we are looking forward to share with you today is this one. Now, this is called the Hexa Directory, and the simple idea behind this is to connect non-profit organizations, social entrepreneurs doing great work with people who want to, support the work that they do. There's a trust factor, trust issue that happens in the African social environment. How many of us know about that? A lot of people are finding it difficult to trust organizations. We want to be the bridge that connects you, who is doing great work on the ground, with people abroad, in Europe, US, anywhere. So we put together this directory with a lot of my tech team and someone right here at the back. We put together this directory that is going to bring everyone across Africa doing great work. We're going to verify you. So I can tell you that anyone who is going to be on our platform is trustworthy. You can depend on the person to deliver the work, give you credible reports, and everything goes seamless. So we put together this platform for everyone to sign up, join the platform, put in your details, donors, volunteers, people who want to connect with you. They don't need to find you in the little corner that you are at. They can just come to Hexa directory and they search for you and they find you. And you can see something here, scroll up, light, down, up. Let's go to the preview section. Here. So you can see right here, we have the verified tab. That tab is to show us that the organizations on this platform are verified by us. So we are doing our due diligence with some partners to check out the work that you do. You're registered, you have a track record, because it's very important. You're working in line with an SDG goal. How many of us know that some people say they are doing non-profit work, but they are just doing charity? Do you know the difference? Okay, the difference is you are donating one part to one girl, it's not helping the girl's life. That is some of it. So we are not working with those people. We're working with people who are making a difference making significant transformative change. And so we have them on this platform verified, and anyone who is on this platform can be trusted because we have vetted them. And by the grace of God, with you can sign up. You are going to be our founding members on this platform. So please visit directory.hexamedia.africa. Go to register. It might be a very tedious process, but get used to tedious processes. That's to vet you. So, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Hexamedia. Okay, so the directory has the free and the paid version, as usual. The free version gives you access to a lot of things, but the paid version gives you access to much more. So we have, and we're trying to build a pool of partners, philanthropy organizations that are looking for these organizations already, smaller organizations. They don't want to work with United Nations and all of this. They want people at the grassroots. And we have someone here who is looking for such people. So, why we are giving you that option is if you want more, get more. You can get more. So please, if you have a non-profit organization, go here, sign up, choose your SDG goal that you're working under. Totally you have access to it. You get opportunities and everything. But I don't want to waste so much time. Please go and explore the platform. And welcome to the digital world. Thank you.
Please put your hands together for everyone and let us see so that brilliant idea and do sign up for that. Thank you so much. Thank you. Right now, we want to bring up our second keynote speaker. We want to bring up our second keynote speaker. She is a social entrepreneur who founded Mausa Africa in 2022, a startup designed to support social enterprise working to alleviate the living and working condition of the underserved community in Africa. She believes that in Africa, where millions of people are excluded from basic amenities, social entrepreneurship charts the path to self-sufficiency by strengthening all the elements that help improve access to work and economic growth. Tolu Lopez's passion for creating platforms and experience towards promoting lifelong learning and developmental capacity for women and girls for the establishment of her award-winning TMI for Africans, an SDG5 focused network dedicated to deploying empowerment projects in the area of public leadership and vocational skills. Her effort has earned her numerous awards and global recognition, such as the Eloy Award for Social Enterprise, and being listed as one of the top 50 African female change makers and top 50 women in social development by TEDx Oloyemi, amongst other notable recognition. Today, she will be speaking on the topic, leveraging digital media for opportunity enhancement. It's a privilege to have her come speak to us in this summit. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Tolu Lopez Makiwa. Thank you so much.
Don't write anything. Just write excerpts from social
Good morning. Good morning. Okay, so how many people are not? How many people recognize themselves as non-profits?
Black boy. Black boy.
If you know you run a non-profit organization, can
Black
I
boy.
Well, if you know you run, amazing. If you know you run an NGO, can I say that so? Non-governmental. Okay. If you know you run a for-profit enterprise, that's social enterprise. So we have more non-profits than we have social enterprise. So I like to start with a story, right? And that's because I like to start with a story. That's because I believe that stories have a way of bringing you and I closer. And stories have a way of showing you my reality.
And we also have an experience of your reality. So we all have like a common, let's say common ground, right? Cool. You see, how many of you have heard about Moazo Africa? I'm not trying to be salesy here, but then how many of you have heard about Moazo Africa? Moazo Africa, can I see your hands up? Very few. Oh, about 4 or 5 people, 6 people. That means we're doing an amazing work. But then, please, my work, I have to go back to my team and let them know that the whole of Nigeria needs to know Moazo Africa. So why do we have less than 4%
just creating
So,
Why is it
maybe you can be
shaky?
typing.
I am the founder and the chief operating officer at Moazo Africa. I don't like titles.
This guy.
Let me take it.
Anywhere I go to, I'll just say, keep my name as no longer Bakula. I am not founder, I'm not CEO. So anything can happen, and there's going to be some sort of transfer of ownership, and I will become like an ex to the company that is happening. So I think one of the things we all need to learn how to do today is to separate ourselves, the impact that we are, the impact. Do you understand? So beyond the whole founder thing, beyond the whole CEO, CTO, all this funny, titles, what are you about, right? What are you about? What do you do? What can we say that, oh, this company does? And beyond comes, beyond my non-profit organization, right? So who are you, right? So if I'm going to ask you that question now, who can confidently say that this is who I am, beyond all of these titles? I mean, before I joined a non-profit organization, or before I founded one, or before I joined the management team, this is who I used to be, or this is what I used to be about, if you are still in that line. So is there anybody who can confidently say that beyond this non-profit that I am leading, or I am managing, or I am part of, this is who I am? Just one
So,
person.
if I remove
Just
it,
one person.
I won't be able to see it. And I want to show.
Ella, we need to do a lot of work. Because nobody is saying that, okay, beyond this is what I do. Nobody.
How did you switch that Skype? No, let me tell you, just read this stuff.
Oh, you want to
know why?
How do we do this?
My phone will.
Yeah?
My phone will. So you don't like.
No, we are using a dedicated link.
Yeah.
So if you go live, we are trying to stop that.
Stop what?
Like we are trying to stop the live. Yeah.
Well, he don't never care to start it, so we have to have an alternative.
I can't show this one.
Let me go live on YouTube and show.
I'll be speaking after her for like 7 minutes. So I asked her if I could drop like a short picture, presentation stuff that could just be projected. So I'll work on something.
But I feel like for every context, we should learn how to pick out what that best suits the situation that we're in. But I really love that explanation, because if anybody asks me today that, okay, who are you? What are you about? I am always thrown into confusion. Because for the first moment, I'm like, wow. And I have done quite a number of things in the development space. I have been privileged to build a school, a virtual school for women, right? And in that school, what we do is we train women on political leadership. And I didn't do this alone. I mean, I've done this with a woman who is currently running for presidency in Liberia. And I've also done this with a lot of many women that have been first Black councilwoman in Maryland, first woman to be elected as mayor in Ireland. So I've done a lot of things. Now I've segued from that. I have also gone into non-profits, right, TMI. I've also segued from that. I have gone into Moazo Africa. And Moazo Africa is that social startup where we help, we promote, social entrepreneurship and connect social enterprises to markets. And guess what? I did not start Moazo Africa like 5 years ago or 2 years ago. Moazo Africa, and in March 2022, we started Moazo Africa from my bedroom. And we launched March at Sheraton. We had a number of people come together. So we had investors come together, we had social impact leaders come together under one roof. We're about 55 to 57.
And you see, one thing that I picked from that moment of gathering people to listen to me, of gathering people to listen to the vision and the mission of why the world needs Moasco Africa is this. If you're not able to understand the value that you are bringing on board, there is no how you can convince your fellow person to invest in you, right? Now, the topic I was giving today is leveraging digital media for opportunity enhancement, right? So I'm going somewhere with my story, so I need you to please follow me closely. And I gathered everybody. People were listening to me. Trust me. In that room, I can say with my chest, it's just only 20% that I knew what social entrepreneurship really is. And Emmanuela said something that you started something for social enterprise in Nigeria. Social enterprise in Nigeria. That must be really tough. Because social entrepreneurship is not a concept that you hear in Nigeria. But do you know something? I love to do things that are challenging. I love to do things that are audacious. So if you know me, you know that I am that girl who will jump down from a plane. I am that girl. Like my adrenaline is always high. I don't know why God made me that way, but that's what it is. And I think it's been good. I mean, it's been it's been a leverage for me. So we started. Do you understand? And I knew that, see, I am going to deal with quite a number of things. So I am dealing with the information gap that exists in this market that I'm about to enter. I am also going to deal with the fact that the market is so ambiguous. Ambiguous in the sense that social entrepreneurship is really wide. So if you're talking about social entrepreneurship, you're talking about different aspects of social entrepreneurship. So it is either you want to be broad from the beginning and then niche down, or you want to niche down from the beginning and scale deep. Do you understand? So now if I ask you now, who are working in non-profits or working with civil society organizations or working with social enterprises, that have you been able to do that kind of thing? But you see, if you go to countries like the US or Ireland, the UK, Netherlands, you name them, European countries, they understand that social enterprise is really a legal entity. And so they are registered as a B Corp, right? They are registered as a B Corp, but they are registered as a CIC, that's community interest companies. But here in Nigeria, are you seeing where I am coming from? Do you understand? Please follow me very closely. I like to tell stories that you can see the things from. So, information gap. What other gap did I mention now? What other gap did I mention? Structural, yes, structural gap. Another one, I think I mentioned 3 already. What? Yes. I did mention that. So 3 gaps. Now, I am in a place where I woke up one morning, I quit my work as a director of strategic policy and partnership with an international NGO in the UK. I came down to Nigeria to go and start what people do not understand. And now I am calling myself a social enterprise, and I'm letting people know that this thing is good for you. This thing is good for you. And guess what? How many people turned up for my event? About 50 people. But how many people looked back to say that, okay, Tolu, I think I want to join you? Can you guess how many people? Can you just give me a rough estimation? Yeah, they're not right or wrong answers. What? 2.
Yes, sir. Okay, there's a slide.
Guess what? How many people? 10.
Have you sent it to Ella?
No, I sent it to him. I don't know if he sent it to Ella. But you have access to your mail.
That's the village of sitting in front. So sorry, no, another person is coming. Sis tall. Sis, hello.
Black boy.
Don't worry, I got you. I'm going to give you 1 book. Please 2 books. I'm going to give you 2 books. So so we started, we had about 10 people. You see those 10 people, they had no idea where I was going. They just feel that anything Tolu Makinwa does is extremely valuable and I have to follow. That is why I asked you, who are you? Beyond all those professional titles, beyond your non-profit, beyond your NGOs, who are you really? So I met Augusta in Rwanda. She just got back from Rwanda last week. And she came for my event, Moasco Africa at Rwanda. And she waited for us till the end of that event. You know what she did? She walked up to me and she introduced herself. This is what I do for girls in ICC and all of those things in Rwanda.
And me, I thought afterwards that would be the end of our, get to know each other. Usually when you go for an event, see someone and you don't really like follow up. Do you understand? You follow up except when something is reaching you. See, I need something from this auntie, I have to follow her. But guess what? She's been following me since we met on Rwanda to date. And now I'm asking why. She says that there is something valuable about the work that you're doing. I want to be a part of it. So guess what? We had those 10 people start following me. I had no idea where this was going. Because trust me, all my savings I have invested in us trying to launch. So they followed. But you see, as they kept following, I kept building my knowledge gap. I kept building my knowledge, bridging the knowledge gap rather. I started researching, I started talking about the work that I was doing. And it didn't stop there. Do you know that in just 2 months after, that was in May, I had people sending me DM on LinkedIn. Hi to you. I am X-Right.
I'm not sure.
I stumbled on the work that you're doing, and I want to be part of it. Oh, hi to you. I also run a social enterprise. Our own is for-profit social enterprise. And what we do is basically, we are working with the SDG 5, that's gender equality, and all of those things. And one person per day. And I think that I was already winning souls. I mean, one person per day, 2 persons per day. See, if you're able to convert at least one person to follow you, you've done a great job. It doesn't even have to be 1,000 people. It doesn't even have to be hundreds of thousands. 2 persons, 3 persons, and guess what? They were not from Nigeria. The first person who sent me a message was from Rwanda. Another person who sent me a message is South Africa.
I'm already showing you.
And that was how to get through. And guess what I did? I had to go back to the drawing board. I started March 2022, was Africa March 2022. And by May 2022, we already have about 15 people working with me. And you see those 15 people, they're not just Nigerians, they're different people, they're different nationalities. And so they're able to help us win more souls, win more souls in their own countries, right? And they started growing. You see, one day I called Savannah, you know Savannah? Savannah Landry is one of our ones who run the business developer. So I called him and said, why did you follow me? What made you follow me? He said, number 1, he was just inquisitive. I mean, there's a way LinkedIn brings you to someone's feed, and there's a way that if I like your LinkedIn post, the people that follow me or connect with me can see you because I liked your, I mean, if you're on LinkedIn. Okay, number, thank you. So this, yeah. So that's how, he saw, someone liked my post, and he saw it, and was like, this girl is doing this in Africa. Social enterprise in Africa. How do you want to make money from doing good? How do you want to tell people that, see, you've got to pay me for the good I'm doing? Do you understand? How do you want to tell people that, see, I'm going to create a product and service that addresses a problem and addresses a problem that provides you a solution, and you've got to pay me? How do you want to do that? Because we all know that in Africa, literally, if I'm going to pay you for the good you do, then you're a business. You are not a social enterprise. Do you understand? So social enterprise is basically blended value, entrepreneurial principles, and impact. So you're telling me now, the school bag is valued at 100,000 naira in the store. But as a social enterprise, we hire women, local women, to do this, and they create it, 5,000 naira, they make it. We sell to you at 5,000 naira. So the money that you give to us, we take 50% of that money, then we use it to buy whatever we need to repair your road. So you are buying back, do you understand? But at the same time, you're also contributing to the repair of your road. Simple, that's like what social enterprise is. And then you're bringing it down to Africa. It does not make sense. So he said, I followed you because I think that you have some level of delusion. And just like my friend Tina Okoya will say, today will say that having a good weight of delusion is good.
Okay, you say what?
People say delusion is like you just saying, I am going to be the president of Nigeria.
Can I use your phone? I don't
It's the guys that will be laughing at you. Are you joking?
Just to view.
Nigeria is a whole political space. Do you understand how you want to?
I can't watch like.
Do you know Nigerians are really stubborn people? They will not vote for you. So we saw yesterday what happened with one of the ministers to be went to the office, and before she realized she has been removed or replaced. And now you say that As a female, you want to be a president and you do.
That's not the level of delusion and that's not the level of craziness. Do you understand? And he said, that's why I followed you. I want to join you to be crazy. Let's be crazy together. And guess what? We started building Mars of Africa. In July of last year, we launched our courses, and from 10 people, we grew into 30 users every day, course takers every month. From 30 people, we tripled that. Guess what? That guy, Savannah, who joined me because he wants to be crazy with me, helped me set up Mars of Africa in Rwanda. He was able to do that because I already see where this baby is going. And she's able to communicate exactly what it is she's doing with social enterprises. And so we have Mars of Africa Rwanda. Then Priscilla came in as well. She joined us. We said, we can't just have Nigeria and Rwanda. Let's have Ghana. So we had Mars of Africa Ghana. And everything happened under a year. From March to December. At the moment, Mars Africa has about 1,480 community members. It is not a lot of numbers, yes, but see, our work is very, it's a lot of work. So for us to have one person join us, that's really plus. But we are trying to triple what we have. You know, like I always say that we work in the social enterprise or non-profit, fund sector organizations. We've got to find a way to triple what you have. Now, guess what? We started growing. We expanded. We increased our number. But there was a problem. Now, let me tell you what the problem is. And I'm sure that some of you will be having the same problem. We were not able to define our value proposition accurately. So because we wanted people to know what social entrepreneurship is, right? We started doing everything. And I'm sure that there are some non-profit organizations here who are just doing everything. Do you understand? So doing everything, here's what I mean. Doing everything, I mean, today you are helping women. Tomorrow, you're helping men. Next tomorrow, you're going into the clinic. Please excuse you. What exactly are you doing? If you want to be for women, please be for women. And if you want to be for women again, define your value in such a way that a 5-year-old can say, so what's your name, sir? Okikiola. That a 5-year-old can say, Uncle Kiki,
Yeah. Do you know where question mark is?
A 5-year-old can say, Uncle Okiki. What Uncle Okiki does is, every woman that gives birth in a general hospital can give birth in such a way that they do not have to worry about blood when there is no baby blood. Why? Because Okiki's work is to supply blood to general hospital. Particularly for women who are about to take their babies. Do you see that is very true?
I will give you a lot.
And that is already defined.
So you just put it
Now,
on the
imagine
so he does the off,
tomorrow
that one charges is women.
It's not women. Excuse you. And that's like what I'm already seeing. I used to be like that. Until we woke up one morning and said, you know what, we can't offer value if it is not defined. See, value is not just intangible. Value has to be tangible. You have to hold it and say, yes, this is what we do. And then you have to be bold enough to say that this is what we do. This is how we are delivering our value. This is how we are capturing our value. And this is how we are able to tell the story of the value that we are offering. Do you understand? So is there anybody here who can boldly, confidently tell me what value they are offering? How they are able to deliver that value and how they are able to capture that value? Anyone? It's a 3-in-1 question. It's a 3-in-1 question. Anyone?
Everyone is increasing their stuff from there.
Anyone?
Yes, no, but no, after 30 minutes. We're going to set it up now. You see for the other place, now look for the good outside.
You understand?
Okay, that's just apply. No, no worries, just apply.
So I have also get some contacts. I have that's the government. How do you do that? I go to business where
You help. So, excuse me, that process of helping, what is it? Service. So when you go somewhere and say we help, I mean help is very vague. So you say that you provide service. What kind of service do you provide?
it's called recruitment service.
It's called recruitment service. So please, non-profit organizations, if you work in NPOs or fourth sector organizations, please learn how to define exactly what you do. I cannot go anywhere. I cannot go anywhere today and say that I help social enterprises. In your head, you're like, how are you helping me, man? I'm sorry. I'm thinking of talking to my team members. Like, that's how we speak to each other. Like, how are you helping me? So it is. Oh, hi. I am Tolu Bakwa. What I do is I connect social enterprises to market opportunities, and I've been able to do that across 5 African countries. Anglophone and Francophone inclusive. And connecting social enterprises to market opportunities, I've been able to raise $100,000 US. That's how you amplify the value that you have to offer. So please continue. Yeah. Organize. Interview. Sell. Organize. Organize, interview, sell. Sell. That's outsourcing. Nice. Please a round of applause. Thank you so much. So yeah, can you see how value is delivered and captured? Can you see how value is delivered and captured? I really don't see when I'm communicating with people, man, like me. I'm a vibe person. I am very high on energy. So we are not getting this energy back. I really don't know how Anidori coped. I think she was even really struggling to like letting you guys, can you understand me? I'm sure that if this is a paid event, the vibe is going to be different because you use economy, and yeah, you're here for free, and you're just no, please, I don't like that vibe. This can my slides roll? Thank you so much. That was bold of you. So yeah. So sooner rather than later, any other form other than digital media will be a thing of the past. It won't vanish, but let's face it, this is seemingly the way of the future. I really like this. Who agrees with this? I mean, this is already the way of the future. From AI, we do not even know what's going to come after AI, but we've had the Internet of Things, Web3, Metaverse. How many of you have bought a land on Metaverse before? How many of you have hosted events on the Metaverse? See, amazing. One question. So non-profit, what are we doing? How are we utilizing the opportunities that we have in this digital space? So how many of you have heard about Binance, blockchain? Good. So West Africa we have someone from Binance who is currently the affiliate manager for West Africa who works with us at West Africa. And what he does is he creates and designs courses for social impact workers to amplify their value using blockchain. And that's what we do at the moment. So we are thinking of, okay, how can we make sure that social entrepreneurs or social impact leaders, they're not left behind in this emerging and evolving digital media space. Do you understand? So let us start thinking about how to amplify our work, because see, this has come to stay. We're all digital natives. Let us see how we can amplify the works that we do, and then utilize some of these things in such a big way. See, there's no money in, I don't want to say, because, I'm sure that some of you are Christians now, like when you get outside now, you say, I will eat Jesus' name, that kind of thing. But let's face it, really, most of us are really broke. Now, I know where that is coming from, really. The truth is, if you work in non-profit, if you work as a social entrepreneur, or even in the NGO space, you know how this thing works. Sometimes you're heavily depending on the next grant that comes in. Am I lying? Why are you guys looking at me like, it's you that broke out to me? I'm not booking Jesus. What's going on? Do you understand me? Can you relate? If you can relate, just like this. So all of us, so why are we now coming like, and we have all the money though? You see, we don't, oftentimes, we don't even lead by our heads, sometimes we lead by our hearts if we work in this space. And for you to literally get the money that you're expecting, it's going to take a lot of time.
Check your mail.
That's why most impact investors, they hardly, before they will give you their money, oh my God, you've got to do the hard things. In the sense that getting your return on investment when you put your money in maybe a social enterprise is going to be hard. It takes a lot of time for that profit or for that investment to yield into a profit. Do you understand? So now, can we be very sincere here today? Can we be very sincere here today? If you know that you run, like you work in an organization that everything depends on grants or donors, just like this. Don't look back, everybody's trying to, don't look back. Just do like this. Good. Please, is it frustrating or not? It is. So why we all fucking like, it is, man. I'm sorry. It is. And this is what Adedoyi was saying. Adedoyi was saying that you have to find a way to ensure you have to capture your value in such a way that it is sellable. Do you understand? You are doing something that is sellable. So when we wanted someone we want to go, we made sure that we got to Mutuma Cooperative Society, that's the Yamirambo Women's Center. We went to the Yamirambo Women's Center and we realized that most of the women there, they work and all of those things. They are like, they came to learn certain skills like A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, you know, which is skills and the likes. And after their whole learning procedure, they don't send them away. They still like put them back and train them on another vocational skill, because it's not enough for you to learn your ABC. We want you to have something, do you understand, that can be sustainable for yourself and your household. So when we got there, we saw the women, they were all learning how to do that for they were all learning how to like make dresses, how to do all of those things, and then they were selling. And after everything, I asked the founder of one of the secretaries, said, how do you guys make money? Just trade them? Said no, like when they bring these women, they pay very small amount, let's say they pay 1,000 naira, just to keep them there. So when they are there, they learn. So every purchase of their goods that they make, right, they give them like 70% and then they take 30%. And so that's how money comes in for that cooperative organization. If you're not thinking about how you need to maximize profit, how you need to generate revenue, and how you need to keep your processes lean and as efficient as possible, then you've not started. You're just a philanthropist, you're not a philanthropist, because you don't have the money to give. You're just a charity organization. Do you understand? So yeah, and I'm glad that we all can relate with this quote by Billy Gibbons. Can we go to the next slide, please? So look at all these people here. All of them. I'm so glad that I'm Peter as a friend to almost all of them. So this is Karima Odebody. How many of you know Karima? She's my friend, my sister. She runs the Black Girls Dream Initiative, and she's one of the UN youth leaders. I think she's just the only Nigerian on that platform at the UNGA. This is Karima. How many of you know Otto Orando? Spot School. Amazing. How many of you know Aramide Kayode? And is she your cousin? You just raised your hand with so much excitement. So like Aramide Kayode, that's the founder of Talent Mind Academy. How many of you know this man called Tobi Onakoya? My boss. Chess and sports. Amazing. Temidare Salami. How many? Let me see your hands. Nice. Echo warrior, echo champion. And how many of you know this man? If you're on LinkedIn, you definitely know this man. What? Ahmed Kayode Alabi, aka K Factor. He's the storyteller of all times. I really like how he tells the story of impact. Really. So now, one female, one male. I hope you guys are not gender sensitive, because I've called you female now. People start going on Twitter now to say that I'm not a female. Yeah, because people say they don't like being called females, they like being called women. So, I mean, there's just a lot of problems of digital media we're even preaching about. So, can you spot what they have in common? Quickly. Can anybody? No. What's that? No, not general answers, please. Can anybody spot what they have in common? Just one person. So wait, if they are applying for grants, is this how you guys apply for grants? Like, you will be so gentle. People are missing opportunities. Okay, how many people, what do they have in common? Just one person, please. No, so you're not the one in class. What do they have in common, please? What? One, that's what they have in common. Another thing, what else do they have in common? Please. They are all entrepreneurs, cool. But most of them do not even identify as entrepreneurs most times. Please tell me, what do they have in common? Can I have a book for her? Like, that response melted in my heart. The way you said that they are visible. A round of applause again. So, if I'm going to ask you now, I mean, many of you have identified all of them. How are you able to find this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people? What? Again. Amazing.
That's okay. Check the first one.
Mary, what?
Check it.
Fidelis. What do you do? Humanitarian. Can I find you on social media? Yeah. No, you're not sure. Can I find you on social media? If this doesn't help me do that, please, are you fast? What's her name? Okay. Okay, please, sister, come on. You even help us to understand where was that? So you get alphanumerical thing. Sister, were you able to find anything?
Yes.
Is it Abiyahu?
I'll just send you just one picture that you can post while I'm talking. Since it's just 7 minutes. Can I get your contact so I can send you
Okay, please go on. What platform are you on? It's not Instagram. Are you on LinkedIn? Yeah. Okay. It's okay, it's alright. We are not here to criticize everybody. But we are all here to like collectively say, Okay, so what are the platforms? Twitter. Alright, listen. So, what is the problem here? Like, what is the challenge with what she said? Please, can you? Sorry. Visibility. One. Another thing. She's not. Thank you. Another thing is, because I have very few more minutes. Another thing. You said visibility. She's not easy to find. That's still under visibility. Madam Fidelis, I'm going to use it as a place for everyone to launch.
Just send it.
Right. So, if, say, for example, I am doing an amazing work, okay, anybody can search for Tolulope Makewa everywhere. Objectively find me. Doing what I love to do best. Amplifying my work as much as I like to, as much as I can, was best. So, man, very Fidelis, let's say you're a teacher, and you don't just teach all children. You specifically teach children that are dyslexic. You know, there are people like that, for example. And that's an amazing work. Because a lot of children that are in primary schools and secondary schools today in Nigeria, they have dyslexia, many of them. But you see, teachers will say that they are not always focusing. They are having issues. Then they'll take their report back to their parents. They only whip them. And like, I used to be dyslexic. Guess how? When I was very young, I would write my P like this. My P will be backward 9. My mom will beat me. She kept beating me. I didn't even know why I was writing P like 9, but that was what I saw, right? It got to a point that someone, Mrs. Benny, called my mother to say that it's not a mental problem. She is actually dyslexic. Do you understand? So there are how many children in Nigeria are really like, we have to cast and bind the devil from you. You're a very stubborn child. This is a marine spirit, and all of those things, right? In other countries, they will sit down with a child and then take down. So imagine you being that teacher who is able to discover that this child dyslexia, right? So there are ways that we can teach these persons. There are methodologies, there are ways, do you understand? And you're doing that work in a community, say for example, oral, and you're quiet. And we cannot, you're saying, you're quiet. We cannot see the work that you're doing. Are you feeling pain? I'm actually feeling pain too for you. Because you're doing an amazing work and you're quiet about it. Why? How then do you intend to deliver the value that you have? How then do you intend to capture it? How then do you intend to enhance your visibility for opportunities? Can we go to the next slide? So we agree that all of them are visible. All of them have all these things. Can we move on to the next slide? Alright, so we talked about leverage. From the old pictures that you saw, they are all able to leverage their platform. So how many of you know what's happening to Tunde Onokoya now at the moment? How many of you? What? Amazing. How are you able to know? Now, that's not just the only thing, but the fact that he's able to tell that story in such a way that if you're not empathetic, you just be like, but if you're very empathetic, you will shed a tear. Me, I have to shed a little tear tonight because it's today, and he's been able to tell that story. So leverage, storytelling, and impact. So Madam Mary, there's a lot of things you need to do, right? These three things are very important. Next slide, please. Value chain. So now, like I say, all of them have been able to leverage their platform for visibility. And like I mentioned, value chain. So do you understand what value chain is? For your social enterprise or your non-profit organization, value chain is not just attributed to FMCG companies or fast food people. Like for every NPOs, NGOs, working third sector organization, you need to understand your value chain. And what is value chain? Value chain are a series of activities that go into how you process, deliver, you capture your value. Now, you could be a non-profit that maybe you have a product that you sell, but you're not making profit out of it. Or you're a social enterprise that is for profit. You need to understand your value chain. So understanding your value chain literally helps you know who your stakeholders are. How can you get to your stakeholders? So now say for example, Mary is teaching children that have dyslexia. Do you understand? Who do you think stakeholders would be? Rough answer. Who would the stakeholders be? What? Parents or persons with dyslexia, right? Good. So we've identified that, right? Cool. So where do you find parents? Internet? Are you sure? He said, no, I'm not asking about the strategies. Where do you find your stakeholders? That is the parents and the children. Where? So if you're going to hold on, it's going to be like an equation, but don't worry, you're able to solve it. So you can find them where schools, right? So that's for the children, that is sorted. Parents, where would you find them? Churches, just churches. Environment, market, society. So who are your stakeholders in that regard? From everything we just said. Parents, cool. What are the activities that go into finding these parents and having them open up to you to say, oh yeah, my child is living with this? Because we are dealing with trust. Trust is a non-financial instrument that we have to battle with. If you're working in a third sector organization, trust is very important. So me, as a parent, I am coming to you to open up to say that my child has a struggle. And I believe that your organization is able to help my child, right, learn as much as he should learn his peers. That is trust. So do you know that trust is your non-financial instrument that has to be in your value chain process? Am I right? So you're thinking about value chain in such a way that my stakeholders and the activities that go into all of these things, right? Cool. So if you're able to understand your value chain, we know that for Tunde Onokoya, his own his targets are not children of the rich, children of the high and mighty. Why his targets? Children in slum. Good. That's why you rather see him in Ikorodu, Shoki, Bariga, Makoko, all those places. Would you see him in VI? All of them. Why? He has a niche. He knows what he's capturing. He knows where to deliver these things. And he understands the processes that goes into his value chain. Same as Karibot, same as Alex Miner, Aramide, same as Ahmed, same as Otto Orlando. You see all of those people. So first you need to understand your value chain. Next slide please. And we have like 2 more slides to go. Next slide. So if you can understand your value chain, you are able to what? You are able to what? You're able to leverage digital media. That is how it works. Do you understand? If I am able to know that these are the processes that go into moving more to Africa from where it is to where it ought to be, then I have to leverage digital media. And you have to master the art. So now, I cannot be on Pinterest. I have no business on Pinterest. Do you know why I have no business on Pinterest? Who can tell me why I have no business on Pinterest? What? So I run a social enterprise that connects, I run a social startup that connects social enterprises to market opportunities in Africa. What am I doing on Pinterest? Can you tell me why I shouldn't be on Pinterest? What? You're not lifestyle. Exactly, I am not lifestyle based, so I cannot be on what? So if I have a sustainable fashion line, am I supposed to be on Pinterest or not? Please a round of applause for yourselves. So you see, I want us to know that not all platforms are good for your careers. Some are just for aesthetics. Do you understand? But when it comes to value, when it comes to capturing and delivering value, not all. So I'm not on Facebook. I go on my story and I see 152 views. I go on a post that makes sense, that I'm thinking you should save, 0 save, 2 likes. I say, this must be the truth. Don't mind me. And guess what? I had to sit down with my content and I said, we now need to creatively design content on our story that keeps people engaged. So you know that when you view from one story, you see 152 views, you go to the next one, maybe 150, the next one maybe 100. Do you understand? Well, it didn't drop. So we had the 152 viewing my story, still viewing the next one, still viewing the next one, still viewing the next one. And you know what we did? I said, guys, we need to come up with something creative. So now let's start putting our videos on our story. And so we started doing that. And we're able to get some more views. The last time I checked, it was 700 or something. But I checked this morning, we've increased from 7, like about 5 follows this morning. What does that mean? I am being careful, I am being mindful of our insights, and that's why we preach data. They said, in God we trust. Everybody bring your data. That's just the way it works. And the ones who are Africa. In God we trust. Every other person bring your data. So if my comms person is telling me that, if my comms person is, my time is up, but let me just round off. If anybody is telling me now that stories does not work, I can't be posting anything on my Instagram story. Say no, it works. And they're like, why? How? I show them, this is it, these are the insights. So how many of you take into consideration all of these things? How many of you take into consideration all of these things? So you see that there's a lot that we need to do. The next and the last slide. The next and the last slide. So that is how you enhance, that is how you position yourself for opportunities, right? Like I mentioned, knowing your value, capturing your value, delivering them, understanding the processes that go into all of these things, that's your value chain. Then, that's my friend and brother. So guys, I told you about the launch of Bowser Africa, he was there. Please a round of applause for him. When we started Bowser Africa, he was there on the first day, and he's still there. Thank you so much, Obrana, for all that you did for him. So this is how we leverage for opportunities, right? Now, can I say something? Can I say something? And this is the last thing. The African Development Bank, literally, about 2 weeks ago, just launched a Eurobond, pound bond social impact funding for organizations, enterprises that are doing innovatively well and and also addressing the issue of job unemployment. Do you know that? And this is really a lot of money. But you guys really don't know why. Because you're not out there. Do you understand? And guess what? Do you know how many Nigerian organizations are applying for these grants and they are getting it? I am not talking about small money grants. I am talking about grants that is able to change the course of your organizations. But you see, before they got that grant, it took a lot of hard work. Let us see what you've done. Do you have a pitch deck? Most of you don't even have, because you see, I'm not a startup. I don't have a pitch deck. Go back home, design your pitch deck. Do you have an organization, like, do you have a corporate governance structure as a non-profit, or as an NGO, or as a social enterprise? Do you have board of advisors? Do you understand? Do you have your executive board, your management? Do you have that? Do you have a functioning website? Like you said, it's not just about the website. I mean, when I go on your website, what do I see? Am I learning something? Am I just going there for the slides and the carousels? Do you understand? So these are the things that help you prepare. These are the things that really help you prepare, right? So with this very, very few points, well, not few, with all of this that I'm giving to you, right? All of these ideas, all of this free information I've provided it all with. I hope that you're able to understand that you need to come to a place where you have to be clear on where you're going and what you want and how you want to get there, right? And I am sure that I've also helped you see how you can leverage digital media for your brand, right? And also your personal brand. You need to separate your brand, that's your organization, from your personhood. They are not the same thing. Remove all of those titles. From all the professional titles, what exactly are you? What are you about? I am a very valuable person. So if I call you to work for me, just know that you're not coming to just sit down and watch. You're coming to learn, and that's who I am. So I hope that I've been able to finish my work as a keynote speaker and also to help you see that, hey, I mean, the whole star, how do they say that thing like that? We are all can fly or something. We can fly in the clouds. So exactly, so there's space for all of us. I'll be here in the next 30 minutes, I'll still be here. So if you're about to see me to talk to me, please feel free to reach out. I'll just be at the back. And you can also follow the work that I do, Tolulope Makiwa, everywhere. I'm not Tolulope Makiwa 007 or 419, that's not who I am. So it's Tolulope Makiwa, straight to the point. My work in Wazo Africa, CMI for Africans, the impact and so on. So thank you so much, everyone, for giving me your time.
Thank you so much, Makiwa. Please put your hands together for her. Are we cold? Please put your hands together for her. That was so impactful. That was so impactful. Thank you so much, Makiwa. Thank you so much. I feel like we should do that again. Put your hands together for her. Put your hands together for her. Thank you so much. So we've been learning so much. To think that this is free and that we have opportunity to learn, to network, and to meet minds like this. It is amazing. Thank you so much once again, Ella. Please let's tell Ella, thank you so much, Ella. You're not thankful. You're not grateful. You know, we learned earlier that we should learn to tell our partners thank you, right? So this is an opportunity to tell Ella thank you. So what do we say to Ella? Thank you, Ella. Thank you so much for this summit. Thank you for this opportunity to learn how to leverage, how to be better, how to get more opportunities and funding. Thank you so much. So right about now, we want to bring up some of our partners. Before we do that, we have our one of our partners that's into volunteer management. One of our partners, sorry, excuse me. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, we want to call some of our partners to quickly speak to us. Quickly, for the next couple of minutes, we have concerned dentists, and they're going to come up shortly to speak to us concerning what they have for us. Please put your hands together for them.
Thank you very much. noticed that concierge dentist energy. I know that's very wonderful. So people write that concierge dentist for poverty. What you can see on my video here is just the concierge dentist energy. The organization has started about 6 years ago, in 2017. I'm a dentist by training, sent in Lagos that year, and I realized that a lot of people don't understand dentistry, a lot of people don't have access to dental treatment and dental services. So we started concierge dentist energy basically as an organization to improve the access Nigerians have to quality dental service. And the way we do that is to take dentistry to people in the comfort of their homes. The word concierge actually means to sell. So we are trying to sell dentistry to people in the comfort of their homes and also at the time convenience to them. So that made us start working with the mobile dental practice now and what we do, and also we then do outreaches. We'll be doing that now, maybe to treat more than 1,000 people in the comfort of their homes in various cities in Lagos of mobile dental parts. For the outreach arm, we're able to organize and pay part of various outreaches in different states in Nigeria, including Lagos, Ondo State, Oyo State, Osun State, as far as Anambra, and also Borno State, we were sometime last year. So, but along our journey, we realized that instead of just waiting for organizations to reach out to us to say we want you to do dental treatment for people in outreach settings, we realized we could also then get people to possibly donate for us to go and do outreaches and various places. And that was why we started what we can term the NGO and do. So that was what Smart for Nigeria last year. And Smart for Nigeria is that platform created to be able to get family friends, organizations, to be able to pay for dental treatment. I don't want to bore you with different statistics of how millions of Nigerians have never started with dental check for talking to the dentist. And in just 1 minute, walking your mouth to a dentist, a lot of things can go wrong. You know, when Ella told me, and many thanks to Ella what they are doing so far for the privilege and giving us to be able to speak to. Many thanks to the speakers that are iPhone, Zenny iPhone. Very passionate.
The IP cam, scan it, then get the IP code, use this other phone. Just no, it's going to be able to use Vmix
to start what we are doing. But the thing is that for us as an organization, we know how important and how powerful it is for people to know about dentistry. So my presentation, I really want to bother myself with these conditions, talking about all kinds of conditions like calculus, like dental cases, like different things that I know some of us have experienced before.
I don't want to stop whatever you're doing.
So, for us coming today to partner here is
I become get to know this thing.
In one of the ways we try to achieve our goal is to provide events like this. So we go to corporate events, so we have our stand outside the road. We can come to have a dental check. How many of us have ever done a dental check? I can see us in 4 or 5 times.
Or just
the data is always very, very, very
get your Vmix.
Maybe 1 out of 10 people or something, which is also what I can see already, because I can see we are possibly one of 50 years. So about 5 people are raising their hands to don't dental check before.
Go to your settings where you do your plugins.
You be to a dentist, you say, yeah, anything. Yeah, even if it's just a simple check.
No, I mean where you do your plugins, where you take your audio, where you take your...
Those of us that are in social impact, is not going to work anything else related? Anything dental related? Oh, dental, I'd love to talk to you about it. So we have just 2 major goals for why we are here today that we're partnering with the leaders of this event. Number 1 is to provide dental check for free for everyone. You're going to get a report card of what the oral hospital of your mouth is, so you can come outside anytime you're going to get right at the end of the day to get a free dental check done. And then we are also here to provide basic dental treatment at highly discounted prices. So basic treatment that's giving and polishing, fillings, simple extraction possible, but mostly skills and polishing. We are able to get that done at discounted prices and also get that done. Secondly, one of the reasons why we are here is to possibly seek partners and collaborators. So So like I said earlier, the first project was started last year. It was August last year. Yeah, this time last year we were in Ondo State. So what we did was to identify 2 towns in Ondo State. There are town and city, 2 cities in Ondo State. What we went to provide free dental treatment for people. We have family and friends and organizations partner with us to donate for treatment for people. I went to Tuba. We spent 2 days in Tuba. We did about 200 dental treatments. We also went to Akure to provide about 200 dental treatments. All in about 7 days, about 400 dental treatments. Definitely sponsored by other people. So we also in Maiduguri last year for about 3 days. We did more than 500 dental treatments in those 3 days for people. The thing about dentistry in Nigeria is that there's still a lot of ground to cover. Even Lagos, before we talk about many other states, a lot of ground to cover. Millions of Nigerians have never ever sat on the dental chair before. We don't even know that dental conditions could also lead to death. Someone on Twitter, I think sometime last week or two weeks ago, posted a medical doctor how she lost a patient to just toothache. Yeah, just toothache. The reason is because the tooth is connected to the rest of the body. So anything that happens in the mouth definitely has its effects on the body. And there's also what we call the oral manifestation of different conditions in the body. So there are times when just a simple dental check, open your mouth to a dentist, there are different things in the body that the dentist can pick. And that's why dental checks are very important. Apart from the fact that you can get simple dental treatments done, you could also get stuff detected and hits in your body. Something as simple as diabetes, something as simple, not necessarily simple, diabetes, kidney conditions, heart conditions, they have different ways they manifest in the mouth. So we're going to be around till the end of the program, so if you think you can collaborate with us in different things that you do, and also when you benefit from the free dental check, we'll be available to do that for you. Thank you very much. Enjoy the
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Please put your hands together once again for them. Short break. When we go on a break, we have their staff outside and they will give you free consultation to the person. So please just locate them outside during the break. Thank you very much. Please put your hands together for them again. Thank you so much. Next, we want to call a representative from Giving Tuesday to speak to us. Thank you.
So we have like 15 minutes before I take that to meet everyone. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It's amazing seeing you all here. Like, you cannot beautiful. I was just sitting on my WhatsApp now. I'm loving this space. Women are coming up here to speak about what they are doing, changing, the landscape of Africa as a whole. And I'm here. My name is Kutelu. I'm smiling because I don't know that I want to introduce myself to people. So I'm just going to introduce myself as the communications manager at Giving Tuesday Africa. And we just want to sort of talk to you about Giving Tuesday. If you all here, I want to put you doing something, you are running campaigns, and that's what we are doing. So Giving Tuesday actually started as a hashtag Giving Tuesday in 2012. And now it has grown to a movement, right? We have country movements, we have coalitions, we have community movements that are like the umbrella movement. And then Giving Tuesday as the organization. So I'm going to pass the mic now so that you actually understand why it's a movement. Within this movement called Giving Tuesday. And I want to introduce an amazing woman, the country lead for Giving Tuesday Nigeria. So right now we have about media to 10 states. So we have a great community whereby we bring people together to be part of the community. So what we do simply is to celebrate the generosity of all what we do in your respective organization. We help you to leverage on what you do in your organization, and also every push using the hashtag Unity is something that's very important to what you're doing, because it actually helps you to push what you're doing for your respective organization. So currently we have leaders and states whereby you can actually, if you are not in Lagos, you can connect to them in different states. And so we'll be giving you the flyer today so that you can actually connect to us because of your social media and you can actually leverage that to push your respective Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Okay, next up we want to call Pandos Pro. Pandos Pro, a representative from Pandos Pro to speak to us. Please put your hands together. Please put your hands together. Thank you.
Because our name is not Amelia. Neither is it possible. Actually, our name is Pandos Pro. And good afternoon, everyone. Hi, everyone. You look good actually. Please smile and clap for yourselves. So, actually, we had to present to us a problem, but not a problem that is solution. Because what good is a problem without a solution, right? Right? All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we currently have a different problem in Africa. And the truth is that over the course of the years, and just last year, the 2022 Interpol report for fraud and scams in Africa is over $60 billion. And for you who are here as an impact entrepreneur, who is here as an entrepreneur, who wants to do work in Africa, who wants to do great work in Africa, and you can't do that without pulling in funds from outside the country. What this causes is that it takes away money from your hands before you even touch this money. Because of the fraud narrative, because of the scam narrative that Africans and Nigerians really are being viewed by. I understand that we have a cross-section of an international audience here, both physically and online. So that means that if $60 billion is attuned to Africa as a scam figure, that means that is $60 billion that is lost in your business. Because you are not able to access that funds, because your partner is not able to access that, because your business is deciding to access that fund. We keep turning in circles with the fact that we have good intentions, but we lack capacity or financial power to do that. Now, how can we change that? Please show the presentation. So, without the picture coming up, I represent a company. What we basically do is we try to use escrow to prevent payments fraud and purchase scam. Now, what is escrow? Escrow is basically a trusted middleman that prevents fraud in online transactions, either online or offline. So what that means is, I come here, you want to do business with me, or you want to invest in me, or you have to have a trusted middleman to hold our funds, such that when I say I have done A, B, C, or what I intend to do, then someone is able to do. So I am not able to do A, B, and C until I show proof of that. Why is this a problem? Because in the past, NGOs, charities, people who are crowdfunding get money, but they don't go to the last mile of what they release money to. Either they outrightly scam the donors, or they only do 20% of what they said they would do. And again, as we said, this is actually creating a problem for Africa. So before you start your department, before you go outside to make money, or to call in donors, you're already operating from a negative or from a loss because of the fraud narrative that being viewed by. And so people are not asking, do you have the capacity to do that? They're asking themselves, can they trust you? Can they trust Ella? Can they trust Isaac? Can they trust Anna? Do you understand? So how do we scale this? How do we solve this problem?
We can do this by using a trusted escrow solution, which is what PandaEscrow offers. PandaEscrow basically uses escrow to prevent payment fraud and purchase scam. And for this subset that we are talking to right now, what we do is we created a solution called CrowdPay. So CrowdPay allows you to crowdfund, allows you to get donations, allows you to pull in money from different sources. But the donor can choose what or how you access this money. They can choose if you're going to access money at maybe the first step. So you can tie it to what we call milestones. So let's say, for example, we want to open a borehole in the community. So now the first thing to do is either to get the engineers, second thing to do is to get the quotation. So I can choose to say, okay, I want to invest or want to donate $1,000 in BNB or an ELA or whatever. And you can only access after showing previous milestones. And these milestones is what the donor will tie you to. So we have previous transaction types, we have the one-time transaction, and that's an app screen showing that we are on Play Store apps and we'll show you this after. So you can choose one-time transaction, that's the donor, right? And then you can either choose to tie their donations to milestone, or if you want to crowdfund and donate to your impact initiative, you can choose the CrowdPay transaction. So with the CrowdPay, they are able to donate to you, and you can access these funds until you have shown eligibility and credibility. And now what is so different about us is that before we come up on our platform, because we try to prevent fraud, we are not just so we are not eliminate fraud. But we try to prevent fraud. So before you are able to sign up to the platform, you have to undergo rigorous KYC checks. Now KYC is basically know your customer. So we try to do that to eliminate and prevent and to make sure that whoever is putting up on our platform is legitimate and also can be trusted. So just to brief about that, this is the milestone transaction, this is the CrowdPay, and the advantage is that we have high security. The security is very good, and it is also transparent and very business side for one to get. So I'm going to show you a demo of how all of these goes beyond. So this is the app. This is the app interface. That's the home screen. We also are available on mobile apps and web apps. But for this presentation, I'll use the mobile app. Now this is if you want to do the transaction, just press the plus button, and then this is what you see. You can choose to create a CrowdPay, which is basically for crowdfunding, and then this is what you see. So you can enter the name, the amount, the details of this crowdfunding, and then you can choose to either display on our wall of funds. Our wall of funds is basically a funding marketplace. So you can choose to either have your crowdfunding initiative public for public donations, or you can choose to make it private. If you want to just make it private for people, you can choose to make it private. So that's what you click, or you can check the box, you go to that for private, and then you can pay the transaction. So please let's go facilitate them on that motion.
The demo video structure. Switch off. Okay.
Sorry,
it's the switch off.
Is there pointer that moves? So basically, this is if you want to sign up, this is just the interface you would see, and then you can sign up. Just we don't have too much details. Just your phone number, the password, you can sign up. But before you are able to sign up, you have to undergo your verifications. This is what we try to do with KYC or KYB. You are signing up as a student. So right now, I'm total of my message. I can only enjoy the demo. So please just get it on the screen. See how the app flow goes and how to do the transaction and how to create your own locations.
That's the section for you to put all of us that be able to convince you as prospective donor or prospective stakeholder or business partner. Okay, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do this, all of that. So this is a great. We are the standard outside here, so I'm talking time is up. The public ask yourself to have a great gift for everyone. So please, the public ask yourself. I'm here to tell you more. But now, thank you so much. And again, my name is Iwo Diandre, but my name is not as important as the public becoming so. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Please let's put our hands together for our please put your hands together for them. And also remind them that during the break will be outside, so you can meet with them, ask them more questions, and get to sign up with them also. Right, we'll be going for a break now. Network break, so you have an opportunity to network with each person. And also then we stand outside the school. So if you're interested, just walk outside. Just walk outside, you can meet with them and get something light for yourself. Right. And also don't forget that outside dentist NG also, it's outside. You can also meet with them for free dentist checkup. Also there is one of our partners, the MX Service Consultant, MX Service Consultant. You can contact them for your volunteer management. They are also outside, so you can also meet with them. We also have a opportunity for a free search for your NGO also. Now outside, so when you come outside, you can just walk around and also meet with all of them. Also, we have a barcode for some of our materials for a book, for one of our consulting books from Hexa Media. So you can just scan the barcode over there and get one of them. Sorry, okay, so please scan. When you scan, you get all the other information there. Thank you so much. We'll be going for the next 30 to 45 minutes. And we inform you when it's time to walk to come back. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Additional.
Yeah, can we fix it? Huh? Can we fix this stuff? I'm not getting it. Like, can we fix it?
Hey, let's fix that. Let's fix that.
I really apologize for that. Emanuela, I owe you one. Today, I will be bringing to all of us the guidelines from a practical perspective of building sustainable organizations. And of course, when we talk about sustainability, what are we referring to? To build a sustainable organization,
so it's not free. So no. So no. Another does it. So you don't want to spoil you. Please, you have to put it by. See, you can't fix it again.
Let's go and buy another.
I'm for real. You can't fix it again. No. See, actually, you can still work without flash. You can still work with the flash perfectly.
Yeah, I know. Like, it's not mine.
I know. Don't bother again. That's spoil. You cannot put it in again. It's better you just leave it and should go and break the plastic open.
Don't give it to the owner. Maybe the person will know how to do it.
You're not going to shout to me.
The shit spoiled the situation.
Is the owner, man? A guy, a lady.
Now we shout for
a doesn't a lady to man now. The guy will later listen a lady. They come up this.
This man.
Bring, let me take it far from you. Yeah, what does it do?
No, I really don't want that one.
Yeah, have you connect that one to your phone? Yeah. You don't connect that like that. You need to go up. I will use that phone to take video. If this one don't feel well, I will call switch to camera. You get my point? I think we are doing the live and we're recording the stuff at the same time. That's why it's in batch.
Yes, how do we do that?
Where is the phone you're using?
This one.
Hey, download the IP cam.
So that means we have to download IP cam here.
No, you're downloading IP cam with only you bring it.
Give the password. That problem is there. Put the password in there, so it's the last one. Slide up.
Check it out. Is it no battery?
The phone must be powered because that's the phone we are going to use.
It's battery.
Grace, I don't think this cable is working.
It's not. Maybe it has not.
One.
Or can you use this phone? Can I use my sister's phone?
Where's your sister? So you don't have one.
The last year. So now I'm saying, let me put her. This is my phone. That's why I know.
This one will be better. This one's too.
They don't be now one, just plug them down.
IP cam.
IP webcam. IP webcam. Download.
That power is there.
My power bank is on this. Check it.
Mine
Maybe
does
right
that. Let me answer for us. Maybe
Try this other one. This one will go now.
charging my phone. Let's because coming call is that.
So you check our bag.
That was I don't call. I'm coming. Okay, no, it's checking mine.
Thank you, man.
Check it now. Let's check.
This just
Let's see. Oh wait, there's lights. Are we streaming now? Can we put it down first for charge?
I've tested.
Yeah, you want to check one?
I have. You still want to check?
This one plus this one.
I have test. Let's drop it to charge. You understand?
No. Just try
Let's open it now. What there's not enough damage. Listen to use. Let us put our password so she can open it.
There are a lot of apps to use. There are a lot of apps.
I've already used one, then I've used this one.
You have used which one? You have used. Come, let's check. You have checked it.
Come on,
you open.
but I've checked it. Did you open for it? Okay, get to your input. That one is not exactly the idea of
It's funny, you can switch now from photo. Camera.
Where did you get
okay,
it?
but now is it full on? Yeah, I'm using two of them. But I have to let on charge first. When it's fully charged, I'll switch back to camera. You understand?
Capture resolution. The settings of your camera, it was showing. Then that I was thinking is
To show, but to show like
integrated webcam.
to show you.
That should be the other one right now.
To just show the settings on this.
Maybe that's
So sorry, is there a way you can switch from phone to camera?
Yes, see it here. That's it. So you will now put this as speed. So if you are doing, you can know how to shorten it.
Okay, let me just drop it first. Let me from possible. How did you put that on here? Yeah, man, I don't need cry for where I did like this. The charge first. Hold it now.
Yeah, I'm holding it.
You're going outside?
Yes, but what?
That's fine.
Ella. Is it?
Do they have an advert? They don't have advert.
I think that's what original items.
Sorry, do you have an advert?
Please put your hands together for her again. Next person.
For me, what's was communicating clarity of purpose. You understand that for whatever it is that you do,
Let me check this.
get yourself attracted to the right sense of safety. You must be able to be clear, communicate clearly, so that you can attract the right.
Thank you very much. Please put your hands together for us. So you must be very clear in your communication. Put your hands together. The first person said you must know your value and be able to communicate. And then you said you must be very clear. And you must be able to communicate your value, like rightly said. Someone else wants to talk about. Okay, so please back my.
Let me finish this point. I'll sit down.
I think using social media, be able to leverage analytics, because we're used to posting a particular type of content, and you don't really know that this content may not be fit, or may not be what will drive people coming to our page and getting engaged. So we need to really leverage on the analytics and post on the platform where people engage.
Thank you very much. Please put your hands together for her. You see what she just did? It's like feeding a baby rice every day. And then the baby is crying. The next time you bring rice, the baby is crying. But you don't really care. That's what I want to feed you today. But the baby, you are not asking what do you want or why, right? So you're just feeding the people the same kind of information. And you're not checking for feedback. You're not looking at the back end, like one of the speakers said. You're not checking to say, okay, what can I do better next time, right? Which social media or which post did better and why did it do better? So those information are very, very important. Thank you so much. Please clap for everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We want to welcome again our guests from Uganda and all the other persons joining us. We also have people from Kenya who say you're welcome to Nigeria, you're welcome, and every one of you seated here, you're welcome to the Social Impact Marketing Summit 2023. Please put your hands together for yourself and bring here. And I know that we've been learning so much. We also want to especially welcome to our online audience. We have persons joining us from around the world. We want to say you're welcome. We know that you've been having an amazing time also. And please don't forget to follow us follow our social media handles on Instagram and on Facebook, Heza Media. And also on Facebook, we have Heza Media Africa. Do follow us and also subscribe to all that we share. Thank you very much. So right now I want to do something quickly. I want to also select randomly 3 persons who are going to do this quickly. There will be a prize for you. So you might want to come out. You might want to come out of a prize. I said there will be a prize. Somebody said, what is it? Well, you know, there will be a prize. It will be marked. Okay, so I want to talk 3 persons randomly. What you're going to do, you're going to give a 1-minute speech. Say, this audience here, we are your sponsors and we want to fund your work. You say, I'm doing something amazing. We want to fund it. So, but we want to know why we should invest in your work. We want to know why it should be you. Why should I pick you? So I'm going to call 3 persons randomly. People want to volunteer. If you don't volunteer, I pick you. Okay. Thank you. Please put your hands together for her. Thank you very much. What's your name? Savior. Okay, Savior. Thank you very much, please. Savior. Okay, please come. Come. You're raising up now. So you know, like Tolulope said, you have to say your value. How you state your value, say how you'll be able to achieve that, and what strategies you're using to achieve that. So 3 of you, you have 1 minute each. Please, can I have your microphone? We are the judge, so you're listening. We want to know who will be able to sell their value best to us and want to put in money. Please, to my professors, you have 1 minute. Yes, that's right.
Hello, everybody. My name is Sylvia Indesway. I'm founder of Team Elite. What we do is we provide a platform for environmental education. So we consult for schools to help them achieve various goals, sustainable goals for their school, to help them achieve zero waste, to help them identify leaders for climate action in their schools. Also, we carry out various projects to mitigate environmental problems. We also have virtual conferences that we host in order to sensitize people on several global issues affecting the environment, affecting the climate, and how they can participate in solving these issues. Because we are all stakeholders of our environment. The environment was created for us to provide for us every day. But then if you don't take care of it, there will come a time where it will no longer be providing for us. It's our responsibility because we all feed on the environment. And so if we're not taking care of it, we're going to lose it soon. One thing that I'm certain of is several of us move around Lagos, and we see how Lagos is literally almost a dumping ground. And this is not something that is a good representation of an African person. A person who grew up in an African home is taught cleanliness. It's taught cleanliness. And so it's not a good representation of our African culture for Nigeria or Lagos to be looking like a dumping ground. So waste management is also one of the things that we really advocate for.
Thank you. Please put your hands together. Did you hear what she said? Part of what we used to score her is how she communicated her value. Next person.
Hey everyone. My name is Alison Kutola, and I'm the Director of the Red Cross Foundation, Lupus Remedies Global Support Foundation. Lupus is an autoimmune disease, a condition where the body fights itself, thereby destroying blood organs. So we have a lupus warrior, and this is lupus, for 15 years now, and it's a life one. So it's very cool. We have this lupus, we have kids living with lupus, and women living with lupus. The lupus warrior battles mental health, and there is a whole environment to survive. So we talk to people. What we do is advocacy and how we all ages. We do the back to school project for kids living with lupus that cannot tell me what more they go through. So we are a voice for people living with lupus. Our medication is about 150,000 naira per month. If you have leveraged all the unbranded medication, but if you have to take the branded one, we do 350. So we source fund for people living with lupus to live again. A lot of people think that they are body, and they have believed someone is somewhere doing for you. So we let them know it is medical. I'm a 2 year survivor. I've lived in under that drug diagnosis for 10 years. So simply, we come on the world to be the one behind a smile and take a child back to school.
Okay, my name is Harriet Uzoka.
Yes, please.
My name is Harriet Uzoka, and I'm the consultant of Western Women in Successful Careers. So, Women in Successful Careers is a not-for-profit organization that actually trains and empowers working professional women. And it's a known fact that in Nigeria, especially in the working space, gender equality is something that is so far-fetched. And one of the things that mitigates this is lack of capacity amongst women, especially when it comes to entry, having the capacity to get through the gate, entry to the workspace, and actually growth. And our methodology of achieving our aim is through mentorship, capacity building, and advocacy. And let's say in the space of 10 years, we've succeeded in mentoring over 10,000 professional women, and through our bespoke mentorship program, which is the Win with Weska mentoring program. And we've actually we believe that when you train professional women, it has a multiplier effect. You have increased the capacity of women, you have increased the representation of women in the workspace, and you have actually gone to increase the output. And you've gone to increase the output of organization. And by doing this, you have actually built the nation, and which actually goes to foster or buttress our vision, which is developing women to the
Thank you very much. Please let's put our hands together for her. Please put your hands together for the three of them. Thank you so much. So we're going to vote. Very nice. So I would like to invite Doi to just talk about the three of them. Thank you.
I just wanted to advise well done to all three of you. It's really not easy to come in front and teach yourself. One thing I want everybody to do after this, write down about myself. Write it down, yeah? And then practice the storytelling angle. So I'm going to take the Lucas story, for example, just based off what I heard. Say hello, my name is Adedo Ijaisi. I'd like to talk to you about Keaton. Keaton is a young boy who lived with Lucas for almost 12 years. But 2 years ago, he was officially diagnosed, and through our foundation, we were able to support him with jobs every single day. And what has happened is that not only does Keaton now enjoy school because he couldn't go to school before that, he goes to school and enjoys school. With 100 naira, you can help us to give more people like Keaton an improved quality of life. And that's what we do. In Lucas Bible, I live with this and I know the pain that children like Keaton go through. But with your support, we can give them a better quality of life and ensure that their value is also added into society. Do you see the difference? Yes. So it's not about you saying, I do this. So Briska, again, I can do the same thing for the girl, but she just read us everything that is on that website. However, you did not hear it. Let's be honest, right? But the starting point is, what do we do? And then how do I tell the story? Pick up a single person story and highlight. The same thing for the story of Briska. Take somebody and say, through this, we're able to give women the confidence through which they can rise in their career. We've helped Adija, we've helped Amina, and we can do so much for women across the 36 states of this country. So want us to come on board. That's a very fantastic stage. So that's what I have to say.
Thank you so much. Please let's put our hands together for me. Thank you so much. Thank you. So the three of them did very well. It's not even easy to come out and pitch, right? And they've done that and with very clarity. Every one of us, she told us what to sit down and clarify your value and how to communicate better. So the three of you are winners. Let's put our hands together. So you're going to drop your name with round one. Okay, you're going to drop your name to her and you get a free consultation session. So much. Okay, so right now we want to go into the next program of events. We want to hear from the panelists. We want to answer questions. We want to answer questions and want to have an exciting time. First person is Atewelgede Audrey Odogo. She has over 11 years of working as a social development and sustainable profit and development programs across Nigeria and Africa. Her work in the social development sector focuses on closing the digital gap through strategic digital skilling program, education, volunteer management, youth unemployment skilling, and reskilling for employment. For employment, grant making, managing and building non-profit capacity. She currently works with Microsoft as a philanthropist, delivering audience-focused solutions. With a passion for empowering others, BDB advocates for adolescent health and women empowerment. She has pioneered the development of resources for the audio creative sector and convened the first ever African podcast and voice awards, cementing her reputation as an innovator. She's known for her passion for social change, empowerment, advocacy, and commitment to uplifting African communities. Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, for BDB Adedo. Now, our next panelist, Mr. Abraham Olu. Ologududu. Is Ologududu. My Ologududu. I'll just let Mr. Abraham O. Thank you so much. He's an award-winning change maker, designer, and multimedia producer. He partnered with leaders to simplify and solve social and business problems through the power of design and strategy. He is a brand consultant with a multidisciplinary background in visual and digital communication design, brand development, digital strategy, multimedia.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm pleased to have you today. My name is Ibrahim Fadilero, the founder of Menstrual Health and Partner Initiative. The non-profit organization focuses on eradicating period poverty using sustainable approaches. We are also promoting menstrual health and education. So, I'm a professional photographer, photographer, and activity provider. So, I'm facilitating this panel session for opportunities and building sustainable organizations. So that's what we are going to be talking about. So I'm focus on leveraging technology for this part. And my question is going to Udemy Adiwe. The first person. So the question is, how can non-profit organizations effectively utilize social media platforms to raise awareness and engage with their target audience? How can non-profit organizations effectively utilize social media platforms to raise awareness and engage with their target audience?
So I think we are all.
No, just one thing to
So I think we are all media space,
It's mine.
When it comes to
No, it's mine.
So for example, she is the starting with where the letter of sharing stories about the veracity, just telling why people want to see authentic, they want to get from that feel transform someone's speech right into something that people will give, right? So storytelling is authentic. Second thing I want to mention is know what platform you want to use. I mean, you don't have to be everywhere. Oh, it's X. Sorry, X. Right? Threads is on, but you don't have to jump on Threads.
Okay, thank you for that. So, in a nutshell, always have a good story to tell. Make them feel, if you are reporting to them, let them feel the story. Like, it's not just about just telling the story and bring them to that story. Like, pick a scenario whereby you are telling the story and they are feeling that story like, I feel like I'm inside the story. So it will prepare more people to follow up with the story. And also, if you are somebody who uses Instagram very well, focus on Instagram, just on Instagram. Don't think somebody's on TikTok, if you're on TikTok. We all post different things. And earlier on Twitter, follow the insight. How many people check their insight? It's very important. So after I post, check the insight from which one went viral, this went viral. So that's very important too. So my next question goes to Audrey Odo. So my question is, what steps can you have taken in the non-profit sector?
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. Nice response. Thank you to the compare. Thank you for pronouncing my name right. We usually don't get it first. So, so there's no one linear way to growing in the non-profit sector, and that's beautiful. People might say that it's disadvantage, but it's beautiful. And why is it beautiful? It's because
organization that you want to be a part of that can take you to the next level. In quote, how can you go and be a star in that organization? Yes. It's simple. And how you do that is the value of prayer. Don't look at, oh, you want to work with international non-profits. Are you up to the level and experience of international non-profits? When you go there, you get those inside the organization. Literally. So, for instance, look at the organogram of smaller non-profits, or local non-profits, or regional non-profits. Look at the organogram of a program officer there, they are lost. But if you're a program officer with a local organization, if they say, that is not for you, NTA, it's affecting the visibility. Speaking engagement, you can go and speak. In multinational organizations, you can't just appear in there's a department, and inside that department, there's a whole lot of people in there. And inside there, there's someone that is trained to speak with the media. And inside there's someone that is trained to actually speak or go for interviews, to write, to publish. So it's a then identify gaps, what do I need to do to get to where I want to be in 2024. Now, this has nothing to do exactly with what your position is. Our structure is not of the sectors. We're not as strong as the western part of the world, the other part of the continent, the other continents. So what it means is that try and build and gather expertise around different positions. If you want to be a top leader in a particular thematic area, say maybe for women or health, that's a different case. It means that you need to now make sure that as you move, you are moving to those thematic areas. But to get to a leadership position, you don't need to necessarily cut across thematic areas. What you need to understand is how do you implement our classrooms? How do you now manage this program? How do you support? How do you find funding to manage this program? Then, how do you look for the partners to work with you because you can't do everything by yourself? How do you manage your board, your management?
Let me see the iPhone. Let me see the iPhone. This is the iPhone on our
More for that. How do you manage your management to ensure that this work I've been doing for 2 years, I need to come to support me, becoming so much. How do you defend that position? Then how are you speaking about yourself in the position? I mentioned earlier when so that people were talking about how you introduce yourself or to part of the experiment of identity. For every organization that works in a site, that's who I am. I cannot change who I am, but it has added value. People don't like that. I work for you tomorrow. I'm doing that has worked for me. So if it works for you, you see similarities with you and I, you take this as 10 minutes. So don't take all of it. You need to understand what is your strength and amplify your strength. Forget those people say weakness and then the time you are using to do weakness, your strength is coming to weakness. Focus on your strength. As you focus on your strength, the more effort you are at it, you find that resilience and consistency to attack your weaknesses. Don't pursue your weakness. There's a reason it's called weakness because they cannot win. You can't win. You only manage it.
Okay, thank you very much. I need to get focus. Many of us 10 times. It's always place of focus. It's very, very important. And I'm really glad you get the grassroots. Many people in the development space now just want to go to these organizations where you might be able to see. Because they have platforms, they have the model of the organization, and you may not even fully be seen and the impact of the field. But there are millions of young organizations that with your impact, we can move very, very, very forward. So just try and see, place your focus on what will give you that attention and your strength.
And just to add to that, there's time for everything. There are times to go to decisions, there are times to go to decisions. Just know that none of them are bad, they just depend on the part you want to take. do start to get to the top, to go back again to work with startups, grassroots. Who's ask yourself why they do that? So there's no right or wrong. Just map how you want to do. And also notice the opportunities that are around you and take to them. Don't ignore your strengths.
All right, thank you very much. The next question is going to Mr. Ibrahim. The question is, in what ways can technology help non-profit streamline their operations and improve efficiency?
So, the question is mostly has to do with the day-to-day tasks of the organization, right? So, first you need to know what are the day-to-day things and what do we have, how frequent do we do them, and look at how they do it in the week. Because sometimes people don't even understand what it takes to run an organization. It's only when they need something that I start running helter-skelter. So every organization should have a standard operation for everything you're doing. It's the process. So if you have a project, what's the step A, step B? When you have all of those, that helps with your operations. But that's not technically, that does you organize your system, right? So once you know the things that runs the organization, the next thing is just to think about what tech tools can first help me to automate. There's a particular tool that I like, but I don't think I apply it all the world. It's called Zapier. Zapier helps us with a lot of things. Your newsletters, absolutely everything that you want to do. So I think sometimes you feel like, oh, some people feel this amount. What do you think about productivity? So I do a lot of design. Typically, well, a lot of people ask me design strategy. So I changed the laptop from one particular place to another last week. I saw my wife was like, I'm like this mode. With this I render for like how many, I'm enjoying my work a lot better. Before you press one button in the show, it's just start running like oh my god, it's not crash. But now I can run multiple tasks with that same system. It's often up to 20%, 25% of the skill usage. Right, so what am I trying to say is that when you look at the amount to spend those applications to the long run, you will save yourself time to go that thing. So automation, tools, collaboration. There are a lot of tools that can be your team, collaboration. Of course, we know that remote is now the face. So I think that few people who are more inclined to do it. Not every meeting has to be in a physical space. Not every time you have to move around, you go to a field to get reports. You can train people in the local field how to use certain tools. And they'll be sending you those field reports via a system they are looking for them. So sometimes, just think about that. That's how surprised I thought was good productivity. Know your task, look for tools that automate them. And if you need to train people about your organization or your field of field work, like for example, I'm in a project with an organization in Bauchi. I cannot be there every time to cover the story of the locals because I'm working on the impact story for 7 years project. Right, but now the locals there, if I don't go there, I'll be able to intimidate about the work. Those companies that we start are frustrated, right? So but I have someone on ground who is taking those stories and sending it to us here in Lagos. So that is the simple summary of how to optimize operations. Know it and get the tools that can perform anything you're doing in your organization. Whether it's writing emails, newsletter, coordinating volunteers, there is software and the tool out there for you. Do your research, invest in it, and you'll see how you put around your optimizing.
Thank you very much. So, it's always good to have a plan. So, it's like a plan better. So, the next question is Mr. Raymond Dike, who is representing Jennifer Solar. So, my question is, what are the key elements of the sustainable organizational model for non-profits?
Thank you very much. So, the key elements that is, first of all, I want to say that non-profit organizations as a vision and we have to understand that non-profit is specifically focused on creating and seeking change in our society. These changes are things that the profit organizations cannot handle, and that is why they create that space for non-profits to do that. So first of all, I would like to start say that one of the key elements is that you have to have a meaningful mission and vision. Because without a mission and a vision, you cannot, create that particular change was want to understand that as a non-profit, there's a reason why you are coming together, or there's a reason why you are trying to exist in a particular society. So there's something that is tearing up that change, there's something that is tearing up that motive in you to become a non-profit. And so you need to understand that you have to have a meaningful, not just any mission and vision, mission and vision that is meaningful, that will definitely create a very effective and a very effective change in the society, and also, cause an impact within that society where you want to create that change. Another thing is you need to stay true to your purpose as a non-profit. One of those elements, this element is actually very important. So because you are existing and there are other non-profits existing around, it shouldn't be the reason why you're seeing this non-profit doing this thing and you want to because they are doing this, why not let's try this? It doesn't work that way. Because you already have a meaningful vision and mission. You should stay true to that purpose and focus your strength, your energy, and all your efforts and resources towards that particular goal and create that change you want. You can also, one of those elements is learning meditation habits. So for us as a non-profit, this is one very core part that we really focus on. So we create enough time for us to, put our team together, all our safety and every other technical person, and we begin to make our mind curious because we want to learn more. Learning never ends. I hope we all know that. And so we create we keep creating this mindset that we can always put something up, learn something new. And one thing we do not joke with is we do not joke with capacity building. It's one of the key elements that helps a non-profit sustain. And also lastly, I would want to say that you should also have a succession plan. This is one very strong element that also helps non-profits to be sustainable. So, for instance, 10 years ago, because Give Back is actually celebrating 10 years this year. So 10 years ago, I actually started with Give Back Nigeria as a volunteer. I met with my founder, Jennifer. She just told me about the organization. She made the vision and mission very meaningful to me. And I'm like, okay, I would want to be part of the succession plan. So, from time to time, Jennifer has created a succession plan, and she has the qualifications that make some of these volunteers to be part of the succession plan. I was once a volunteer, I became a team lead for Cross River State, I became a team lead for Lagos when I relocated to Lagos, and as a few months back, I became the director of programs. So when you have a succession plan, you indulge other people who are trying to share this vision and mission with you, for them to sustain. So whether you are there or not, they share this vision, they are fighting with this vision for you, and they want to make that impact, that change, that drive that pushes you to continue to sustain the organization, to sustain the change you're trying to create in the environment. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That was very straightforward. I'm sure everybody got feedback. So vision and mission is one important aspect in the non-profit that drives your organization through. Aside from the mission and vision, that's okay your objective. So once your vision and mission statement has a clear way, definitely your objective is to go through. I had this conversation with a friend yesterday. She had like a sketch of what her mission and vision is supposed to do. She asked me how I could help her make the brother make this living. I was blank honestly, but thank God for ChatGPT. Yes, it's quite effective. So just I gave it like an example of something I want. It gave me different options. So that way we actually mapped out powerful vision statement. So I don't the technology word to I've never been on the chat. Trust me, I write proposals, it gives me the template of proposal. I just need to edit it so I can finish what I do. So don't worry, that's one tool that you already it's really saving lives. And one nice again is bad. Bad to else, bad AI. That's another AI that helps you. So if you don't know how to write, trust me, I've done a capacity building training where my topics were just from ChatGPT. Yes, that's how I got my training material. That was one way of telling you. I guess.
Instead of going out, process to you, right?
So my next question goes to Bidemi. So what are some innovative ways technology can be used to address social challenges and create a sustainable impact?
Innovative ways that one can use technology to create impact. I think I'd like to start with some examples. So, because I believe creativity rules the world, and I've been able to successfully launch organizations that have a presence in 20 countries, and we've not even met. We have a team of volunteers in different countries. We've not seen each other, but somehow we were able to share the vision, right, and make sure that, okay, this is what we want to do. We want to change the single story narrative about Africa. And we are moving on. I mean, I'm sitting here, Mama, come here, listen, give you other right, so it's amazing. But this brings me back to the question, what are the ways? Use these tools. Text is there for you. There are platforms that makes your life easy. ChatGPT is there, but I feel like people need a lot of training to use ChatGPT because they're prompts. I mean, if you use it wrongly, you'll be surprised the kind of questions you get. But it's there to also make your life easy, make things simpler. And then visibility matters. Okay, so positioning is a thing. Audrey talked about how she carries wherever she works, she takes it to the end. It's actually a strategy of position. Okay, so these are some strategies that you can use. And there's something that's out to. So I'm going to use Giving Tuesday now as a movement, right? It exemplifies what we are trying to see. Giving Tuesday started just as a hashtag, okay? And then it became something. There's Giving Tuesday in Nigeria, there's Giving Tuesday in Nigeria, there's Giving Tuesday in the US, and in more than 80 countries that, we flow with this trend and also create this trend, create tools and resources that help us to amplify what we do. I think we probably do that. That's why movement started, movement slowly died. Okay, so bear these things in your mind when you are creating your ideas. Have a lot of time, use these tools, but think about what happens as these tools change. So you are constantly growing, you're constantly moving along with these trends, and you are with yourself. You are getting better in your craft. You are looking to work with you. So these are some strategies.
Thank you very much. She said visibility is important. Positioning, like where she used to carry things on her head. That's when we try to carry things on her head. So she said